we're gonna go live now. So, welcome one and all. There we are. Yeah, we're sorry for the delay, everyone in chat, but we are live now with myself and Tartress on cam, and then the rest of the boys in the voice call. Here, say something real quick, just so I can see the volume levels.
No, I will never speak to you again, you quasi-literate troglodyte.
What?
Hello.
Okay, there you go. I'm cutting off the top of Tartress's head. Let me fix that.
That is probably dangerous.
That's okay. There's nothing good up there anyway, so.
No, oh god. Chat.
True, he's covering that perfectly round head
Who did that? Chat, I just want you to know. Hi, Zyle. It was your fault that it goes away forever. You better get them all in, because they're going away. They're going away forever. You better hurry and get them in right now. Oh, I was joking. Don't do it! No! Oh god. Alright. They're all went away. Look at that. You guys.
See, what else do I want you to take off forever? I'll have 100k to get rid of that.
Alright. We gotta wait a second now. Yeah, you can highlight the. I'll take my highlighted messages.
I want like a better TV option where every message I say is unique and highlighted. I don't think I talk enough to run out of points.
Alright, they're almost done.
Are you doing that manually, or are you doing like the up and then repeat message?
I'm doing that manually.
I was gonna say.
Alright, here we go, boys. We are. Okay, so we are here, and welcome. I'll try to remember to edit that out of the YouTube VOD that I eventually upload. But welcome to the stream, the second session of Dungeons and Dragons.
Shouldn't you do the big clap so you know when to edit?
Oh yeah, I'll do that's what Jeff used to do. He used to do 2F Jeff.
No, alternatively, I could just yell really loud.
Yellow.
No, it's good.
You should yellow very loudly.
I would like for one of you guys to do me a favor. I want to test that it is working properly. Can someone just roll anything in chat?
I will yellow very loudly.
Oh god.
That's too much loud yellowing.
Alright.
Okay, it seems like it's working. No, not in that chat. Not in... Okay. Big Chungus. I'm basically testing to see if it actually updates the stuff like this browser extension is supposed to do. And it's not really working. Bruh.
What is this supposed to be doing?
I have a browser extension that's supposed to make it so that the window that I have the stream view on will always be updating, even when it's not the window on top, the active window, and it's not working. Bruh. Alright, that's whatever. It doesn't matter that much. Alright, so yeah. Let's see. We are here to play some D&D.
True.
So, I like to start things off normally, as the others know. Tartress isn't new for you, but a lot of times, you know, you start off a session with a little recap of what happened last time, and I like to kind of leave it up to the players to start first by filling in what they remember happening or have down in their notes, and then I kind of fill in some stuff here and there. But I generally like to leave it up to the players to basically tell me what they remember happening. And yeah.
Well, I didn't write anything down, but
Yeah,
I
First
do
of all,
remember.
I didn't know
No,
we
you
were
don't
supposed to have notes.
No, you don't have to take notes. Like it's
You
just
didn't write
Okay.
anything down?
Yeah,
God,
wait a
no.
second,
Uh,
notes.
no, you're good. You don't have to. It's just that some people like to, and
It's one of those things. If you get called on to say what happened, and then it's been 3 weeks, what you gonna do?
Yeah, I remember what I
you
was
blame
there
the
for
teacher.
pretty well.
okay.
You blame the teacher for giving you social anxiety and then sue the school for discrimination.
All right, so there I was doing some last-minute preparation, making sure everything was got, and I had everything I needed. Then we left, and then we did some boat things.
There were boat
and,
things.
And we were being followed, so we did boat things, but faster. And they also did it faster. And then there were some sea folk, and then I left. The end.
You know, I
Well,
want
your-
to see.
your character-
I've been told that I cast magic missile a few times
Yeah.
and almost died.
Yeah, congratulations on learning that spell.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, you did die.
yeah. Well,
Just
no,
you
he
had
didn't
plot
die.
armor.
He just he almost went
You just-
down.
You just had plot armor.
Yeah.
Well, I also did heal.
The
Yeah.
strongest of armors.
Yeah. Anyways, though, so you remember Tart missing a whole bunch? No, Tart didn't miss a whole bunch.
Well,
I
he
did
hit
miss
once,
a whole
and he
bunch.
Hyped up 2 hits that didn't happen.
Yeah, I think I hit once.
Oh, I
in the entire
see.
battle.
Like, yeah, you
Yeah.
literally
Our-
missed attacks. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Our ship name. I wrote 2 things down
Yeah.
actually. Our ship name is the Foxy Lady, and the captain of the Foxy Lady is Einar the Ever Watchful.
Yeah. Fun fact, by the way, I called it the Foxy Lady. It's very random. I was like, what's a good ship name? And then I was thinking, I literally have, I've sailed on a sailboat when I was in Boy Scouts, and it was called the Foxy Lady. So I called it that.
Not gonna lie,
There's no deeper reason. It's just literally the
I-
name of a boat I've been on.
I stared at the last line of my notes for a good minute before I could figure out what it means.
Mm-hmm.
The other boys got fished as well, so it's all good.
Yeah. So,
In reference to the boys that were chasing us.
mm-hmm. But yeah, so we had
True.
the the yeah, so we started last session with introducing you guys, your characters all joining this crew or having joined it. I guess Tartarus, your character and Sam's characters are the only ones. Oh, I should also tell chat because I don't know. Sam will not be joining us tonight, and we will. I think scheduling issues might become an issue, but we'll figure that out. And if so, it's not a big deal. But yeah, so Tartarus's character here is the new boy of the group, and is accompanied by his orcish companion, whose name is Shoal. There you go. I have it in my notes. And we kind of opened last session with a little bit of introduction to everyone's characters, and how they fit in the crew. I remember Perplex's character bought what he didn't know was some spoiled or bad meat of octopus, a glowing octopus. He prepared it. He prepared it fine. It's just that there was something in it that wasn't good. Didn't agree with some of the people.
That's the problem when you go for a rare cooking.
Yeah. And he blamed it on
Burnt
his assistant Ganaric.
Oh, I have a question about Shoal.
Yeah.
How is it spelled?
I have it as SHOL.
Alright. Because I wasn't sure if it was Shoal, a group of squid,
No,
or what.
no. It's just SHOL. Yeah. So the group left from port. There was a drum competition. I remember that. Tartarus's character, what's your name? Rook, right?
Yes,
He
I
had
won
a-
that.
Yeah, you had a drum competition. No, I didn't. You didn't win.
I distinctly remember winning that drum competition.
No, you. If anything, you both lost. You
I
both
was
were
there for
terrible.
that, and I wasn't very impressed by either of you.
That's fair.
Same.
Like, you
Yeah.
could barely keep beat.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's.
I honestly don't think my character noticed what was happening.
Yeah. But yeah. So then we again we had there was a couple days where nothing happened, but then the group realized they were being pursued by some basically sea raiders who are religious fanatics and zealots. They were chasing you guys down, and at the same time a storm started brewing, getting choppier and choppier until at the end of the last session you guys were attacked by some sea folk who raid all of the seas of this continent, and yeah. And it turns out it was not connected to the ships. It was just a random attack from these sea folk. You guys fended them off pretty handily overall. And we pretty much ended the stream and the session there with you guys leveling up, having survived your first encounter. I also...
Yeah, buddy.
Here, I'll show chat. The Tartarus rolled for his HP before we got started here earlier, like an hour
I did.
ago. And he got an 11. That's not
Yeah.
even
Out of 12, that's
out
pretty
of
good.
12, yeah. And then plus 3 from his modifier, so he's a beefy boy. Um,
Oh, hey, we both have +3.
yeah. But yeah, so we'll pick this session up again.
You know, I've already taken average, but should I roll? I'm a sorcerer, so it's pretty much only going to be bad.
No, you're not allowed to ever again.
Alright. Alright.
Honestly, the switching to deciding to roll is fine. It's the reverse that would be gamey.
Yeah, you know what? I'll let you, but you have to take the new result.
Alright. I'm gonna quickly do a poll because I doubt we're gonna get into combat real quick.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll start describing stuff. So yeah, we'll pick up with you guys having beaten these sea folk. And unfortunately, you are not out of danger. And so the captain, Captain Einar, quickly yells out to get back to rowing. However, what I will say is that you guys clearly beat back this sea folk attack quicker than the pursuing ships did. It's not clear whether that's because you guys are better fighters or because they had more or whatever, but you guys you gain a little bit of leeway for a couple minutes before they have clearly won their battles and are pursuing you again. Sea folk, yeah, no, they're folk of the sea, but yeah. So you guys are basically going to be told to keep rowing, and I don't know. Do you say anything to anyone? Do you do anything in the meanwhile?
I think I
place.
try to just kind of shy away from people as I'm embarrassed about my performance.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you are, I mean, you know, you're just sitting...
I'm going to be taking the time to nurse any wounds that I have gathered
Okay, sounds
from our
good.
altercation.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, how much HP should I have?
I think you were at 11, or wait,
I was
10,
up.
10
I had
out of
11 max.
You're at 10 out of 11.
Alright, so I'll get rid of one.
But yeah, so, yeah, you guys begin to row again. However, it isn't very long before you realize that rowing in this case means more or less just trying to fight against the waves of this storm that is now on full blast. You have water just pouring down into the ship. And you know, you guys are all soaked within minutes. Before it was a light drizzle, but now it's a torrential downpour. And you guys are rowing, but again, it's mostly just trying to kind of stay steady. However, it is clear that it is going to become hard to even keep a specific direction going. And this is after a full night of rowing, and then a morning where you had a fight, and now are back to rowing.
Yikes.
At this point...
Very slightly below average.
At this point, you guys are... having gone one whole night without rest. I already had to do the constitution check for rowing. I don't remember when that happened exactly.
It happened briefly before we entered combat.
Okay. Yeah, so you're good for a while. I won't make you guys do another one yet. Yeah, you are able to keep pushing through. Kind of adrenaline fueling you from that last combat. Did you gain spell slots back? Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. Actually, Drake, you would be at full because it's like Skyrim levels, right? You gain your stuff back.
Are we still exhausted though?
You are still exhausted though. That is the one thing that doesn't change.
Maybe you are.
Yeah, those of you who
I am
failed
too,
your. Yeah. So yeah, and it goes on like this for several hours actually. In fact, like the time starts to blur together, and you guys realize that there's only so much longer you can kind of do this. In fact, at a certain point, the captain makes it so that instead of 15-minute breaks, it's 30-minute breaks, so that you can actually rest a little bit more and eat and stuff as you're going. Unfortunately for what's his face? For Landor, he's not going to be able to cook. So it'll have to be like dry packed rations on the go. Although to be fair, he probably cooks some stuff in advance for that purpose, like smoke some meats and stuff. You know, for situations like this. I don't know, Perplex, do you have any ideas about what sort of on-the-go foods that you'd prepare?
No, I won't do that. I was gonna say, despite the recommendation not to eat the people who attacked us, I was gonna say maybe I'd cook up some of them.
Well, no, yeah, but you don't have time to cook right now, so it's gotta be something quick or something you already had prepared.
Sushi.
Yeah.
Oh,
I would probably have some just like quick ration type foods, dehydrated vegetables and shit that you just munch on real quick.
Yeah, and nuts and
Yeah. It's probably what you would cook with a lot of the time anyway.
Yeah. Stuff that's dehydrated. I
We
just
don't have
rehydrate
the
it.
benefit of it being boiled back into life.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
Yeah, so you guys are you're able to eat and stuff. That's not a problem, but you aren't able to sleep. And it seems like it goes by real quick, but soon it is getting close to being evening once again. The good news is that the people pursuing you, again, they seem to have lost a little bit more in that battle with the sea folk than you guys did. And now they're basically just matching your pace. They were gaining on you steadily. They are pretty much now just keeping up with you.
So what you're saying is the ocean's pushing us in the same direction.
Basically, yeah. Yeah, a lot of this is just the waves and currents that are basically just pulling you guys further out to sea. And you get the sense, so let's have Kragox, your character, I want you to make me a nature check.
Alright.
Just you, though.
See. That will be at disadvantage, of course.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I need to check. Would this be like me actively thinking about doing so, or is this just like...
Yes, this has to do with the stars, by the way, which is why you're getting a roll.
Alright. My character will actually like reach down to his belt and briefly look at a large clamshell he has and open it.
Okay.
And his hand will glow and he'll touch himself on his chest, and then now we'll make a nature check with disadvantage, but plus a d4.
Okay.
I learned guidance from leveling. A 10, so I only kind of suck.
Okay. So you're not able to really tell much about what direction you're headed, but as it becomes evening again, this storm is still raging on, but there are pockets of like more calm parts where you can kind of catch glimpses of the stars that are now appearing in the sky. And you get the sense that you are still heading west in a general direction, which is where you were originally intending to head, but you're not sure how much off north or south you might be going. But yeah. And yeah, so the stars start to appear in the sky, but you really just catch glimpses here and there. It's so rainy and cloudy that it's fairly hard to see much.
Fair.
Go ahead and I want you guys to roll me another Constitution saving throw for another exhaustion check. Luckily, even if you fail this one, it's not bad. Once you get 3 levels of exhaustion, it's bad. But
Legitimately, Roll20 is like going crazy. It scrolled down when I clicked instead of clicking right on. So yeah,
no,
he just
speaking
speaks
Druidic's
through-
about
yeah.
the same.
Yeah.
that would
Okay.
just be 20.
It would just be
though,
20.
right?
Yeah, you guys are actually all fine. Tarkus, what is your profile picture? Is that you?
That's me, bald.
I just saw that. I just realized. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's been staring at us this whole time.
Yeah, I just
I'm a
saw
bald
it.
boy.
Well,
So-
I think after a certain point he had switched his thing to his character, so it was showing his character halfway through.
Okay. But yeah, so you guys are actually all fine. You managed to push through. Some of the other crew are really starting to get exhausted, but you guys keep pushing. And luckily, the 2 big boys count for a lot. So it's actually pretty much fine as you go through another full night. However, the next day is not going to be so kind to you all, as the waves and the storm, you thought they were bad before, but it gets even worse and worse until essentially you guys have to stop rowing. You hold the oars like back in, you pull them back into the ship, and essentially just have to ride the waves as best as you can. It essentially turns into a battle with the sea. And the vessels behind you as well have seem to be undergoing the same battle. After a whole another day of this, which I'm not even going to describe that much because it's basically just you guys are exhausted. It drags by, but it's a mix of it dragging by, but also feeling like it feels like it takes an eternity, but at the same time, you're so like delirious at this point that by the time you're at the end of this day, you're not even really sure how much time has passed. It doesn't feel like any time has passed. And at the end of this 3rd day of this kind of struggle, the stars start to rise once again, and the storm shows no signs of letting up. As the stars start to rise, after about an hour after the sun has gone down, there's the last little bit of light in the sky. You hear shouts from the other ships behind you, which are fairly far back, but are not far enough back where you can't hear them. You can definitely still hear them shouting. And looking back, you all see, or you might even hear only just like a small bit of the shouts because of all the rain and stuff. But you hear them and look back, and what you see is that there is a almost like a I'm trying to think how to describe it. A hole in the sky. Not in the sky, but in the clouds above you guys. Above them. There is a hole in the clouds. It's like a fairly, almost a perfect circle in the sky above where their ships are. And there's no rain falling in there. Literally, the clouds have parted ways. And it's actually a fairly wide radius, like maybe a half-mile radius, so a mile in diameter. And this hole in the sky of calm is moving, and it's moving towards you guys from them. As you, again, kind of delirious, but still, like, maybe wondering what the heck is going on, as you look back, as the waves coming towards you start to calm down, you actually see that the sea is glowing. The water is glowing near the center of this circle. And this glow is coming towards you guys. Can I get a perception check from all you guys?
That's cheating.
That would be a disadvantage.
Oh yeah, it would be a disadvantage for those of you who still have 1 level of exhaustion. Okay. So, okay. Yeah, I don't remember Perplex. Do you have disadvantage or
Yes.
Okay. So 16 is still the highest though. So yeah. Landor would be the first to note it, or to be able to see that whatever this glowing thing is under the water, it is kind of arcing back and forth in a wave pattern. And as it's getting closer, he realizes that it is way under the water, at least a couple 100 feet down, but it's glowing with such brilliant light that he can see it. And as it gets closer, you all begin to see that it is kind of its form is waving back and forth. And you would all, I guess, probably not Tarchus's character. The rest of you would recognize this as being a sea serpent. But specifically, Landor and Adric have been on the sea enough to have heard rumors about this exact thing, the glowing serpent. It is people aren't sure if there's one or more than them or more of them, but either way, they are regarded as a sign of good luck and calm on the rough seas. And as it swims by, you see that the kind of circle, the end of it, leaves the other ships behind, and the waves immediately swell up behind the other ships that are chasing you guys. As, at the same time, it gets close enough now that this circle of calm moves and engulfs you guys. And immediately, the water completely just stops. Maybe a little bit of a wave here and there, but it's essentially just like being on like a lake almost. Very calm. And the serpent swims up behind you guys, swims underneath you guys, and then keeps going ahead of you guys. Do any of you do or say anything while this is happening?
We need to follow.
During the prelude, I would be saying prayers softly to myself, but once I see like the giant glowing thing underneath the water, I am just going to cry out, "The gods have abandoned us!"
And then sorry.
What are you talking about, you madman?
Look at that thing down there!
Yeah, if anything, that's a sign from the gods to help us.
Doubtful.
The captain says, "Quit your bickering! Row now while we can!" And and the oars get put back out. And I'm assuming you guys will push forward as quick as you can while there's no waves. And it seems like, luckily for you guys, the other group had not been expecting this, but you guys have now a chance to gain some more ground even, as they've already been swept up in the waves again. And so you row and row, not able to keep up with this thing, but able to... Oh, I think I'm hearing some feedback. No, able to push forward and gain some more ground. However, as the thing kind of weaves away, again, you see the brilliant light in this circle of calm keep going until finally it does pass you guys by, and immediately you're just hit by rain again, and waves swell up immediately, pushing you around once more. And you continue on, the serpent having left you in its wake.
As we're put back into the choppy waves. You said the clouds are also parting above it?
Mm-hmm.
Could I get a better idea of where we are? Well, I can still see this guy.
Sure, yeah. Go ahead and roll me another nature check. I'll say this one would be with advantage even, except that'll just cancel out. Because of the supernatural calm that it created. Unfortunately,
You did some shit, bro.
I am an enthusiast of the stars. I'm not very good.
well, I mean, to be fair though, this the glowing serpent is something that most sailors never see. Only talk about in rumors.
Yeah, I'm a little distracted.
Yeah,
That's what's
it
going
is. You know, it's the same thing as like seeing a dragon, like a rare dragon at that. It's not something you see every day.
It's like seeing a white megalodon in Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so the so you're a little distracted, but the I would say one thing. Let's see, one thing here. Adric and Lander, roll me another perception check. And this is not really that important. It's just something you might notice, a minor thing.
You said perception?
Yep. Okay.
That'd be an 8.
Okay. You guys hear the old man who normally beats the drums, whose name is Avar. You hear him like muttering like a prayer or something under his breath as it passes by, but you don't hear what he says or anything. Anyways,
We're too busy heaving and hoeing.
yeah, exactly. And yeah, so what I will say though, Kragox, with the 5 nature, you're not able to get a rough idea. You're not able to get an exact idea, but you can get a rough idea. And what you actually do see like shocks you. Because you think, from what you can see, that you are somewhere, like, all the way up here.
Okay, so where were we last? Or where should we be if we were still going the right direction?
So you were planning on heading towards, like, here. The Aldish Isles, basically. And
Was that the plan?
That was the plan. Mm-hmm. You were going to
Yeah,
go
What
to
insane people.
Coast of the Aldish Isles.
Yeah. You were going to go...
I didn't
and,
realize we were insane.
No, I mean, the Aldish Isles are not in Civil War anymore, so it's like, you know.
I was gonna say, is this pre or post the Aldish fuck?
It's post that, so...
In all likelihood, if we had achieved our goal, we would have had some flying abomination just rain death upon us.
Yeah. But yeah, so you guys are way
Tarkus,
up
Mhm.
if we had made it to the Aldish Isles, our last group had an entire floating island
yeah.
that hovered over the Aldish Isles.
Yeah. There's a floating castle, basically.
2 of our characters by the end of the game were literally demigods that were immortal.
Yeah. But yeah, so unfortunately you guys are you have been blown way off course. Again, it's hard to pinpoint exactly where you are, but you're pretty sure instead of being on the southern end of this isle, you're on the northern, way off the northern end.
So we would have reached this far, to the west, but we're like way north.
Yeah. Exactly.
What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Captain? I'll say to him when he's walking by, I assume.
Yeah. Well, he's basically full-time at the rudder, just trying to keep you guys headed the right direction.
Ah.
But
I guess I'd want to tell the captain, but I'd just be like, brother, we're like way too far north.
What do you want me to do about that? I don't know how to control the ship.
I just need to tell somebody.
I don't know. Use your voodoo.
I can't do whatever that serpent did.
But yeah.
Unfortunately.
At this rate, we're just going to be sailing off into the open sea forever.
Well, brother, I have enough rations for at least you and me. We'll do what we have to.
But
Wait. Thank God we
But
threw
yeah.
the fish folk overboard already.
But yeah, so you guys are able to keep pushing on.
I should have just turned into a turtle when he said use your voodoo.
At this point, looking back at the other ship, the captain has periodically been using his little spyglass to look at the other ship. And he can tell that you guys have actually gained some more ground. And so he actually will have you guys start taking turns to rest, like actually sleep. It realistically probably isn't even a full 8 hours, but for the purposes of this, it would be multiple split up segments. That would add up to a long rest. And yeah, he would probably have you guys start taking few hour breaks, which slows down the pace of your ship, but it's literally like there was only so much he could do. And luckily for you guys, these guys that are following you are fanatics, but they are mortal fanatics. They need rest as much as you guys do. So the good news is you're able to start taking rest, and you'll all be able to take a long rest in this rotation, so you can remove your exhaustion. The unfortunate thing is that these guys following you basically are still matching your pace. And so while this chase is slowed down, it is still ongoing. They are stubborn.
Yeah. Edric would inform the captain about what he had discovered earlier when he is able to get off an oar.
Okay. Yeah. The captain would...
real inconspicuous, the man that's 11 foot tall, leaning halfway over to talk to the captain quietly.
Mm-hmm, yeah. We'll say this is like the following morning, so like on the dawn of the 4th day now, basically as this chase continues. What you would notice as well, though, Adric, when you kind of are waking up from your little sleep, is that the wind and the storm has died down mostly, a good bit. It is still going on, but it is now at maybe a third of what its full strength was. And the captain nods and basically gives you a look that's basically like a look of, like it's clear he already knew this, but he would basically say to you, I had a feeling we were thrown off course, but at this point, outpacing them is all we can hope to do. And he kind of motions to the sail, which has been unfurled, and you can see that you are picking up wind. In other words, you're going with the wind here. And he says, our best bet is to go with the wind and hope we can just outpace them and work our way back. Luckily, we have food for a longer trip than was expected. And he kind of gives like a smile over towards Landor.
I give him a thumbs up.
Mm-hmm. He's like, we have the food for it, and if we've been able to survive this far, I believe we'll be able to at least keep them at bay. Maybe they'll give up at some point.
Yes, ideally they have less food than us.
It's possible we may have to rely on that, but unfortunately, fanatics like this will be willing to chase us until the very last minute when they no longer can.
True.
And yeah, the captain would. This would be like again probably when you're switching kind of shifts, and Adric and Landor had probably been the ones sleeping now, and now they're going to go back to rowing. And now we'll say Rook and Torgir are the ones taking their break. And as you guys are beginning your rest, the captain would actually walk up to Rook and in Orcish say, "You row well for your first time on the sea."
Well, when I first saw that sea serpent, I just wanted to get the frick out of there, bud.
He nods and he chuckles and he's like, "I've never seen it before, but I've heard of it, and once you're on these seas long enough, things like that don't scare you as much. There's plenty of scarier things out there than just that."
I don't think I want to be on the sea that long.
He chuckles and he's like, "It isn't always this bad." Then he'd go around to Torgir and be like, "Torgir, how are you feeling from your wounds from a couple days ago?"
Actually healed.
Okay. He's like, just want to make sure you have full energy in case you have to, well, use any more of your sorceries, magics, whatever you call them. Your powers, your gifts.
Feel a bit sore, but I should manage.
He nods. And then he would go back to his spot at the helm. And it would continue like this. A whole another day is going to pass. Like I said, though, the captain would even let you guys... he would let Landor cook a meal, actually. What type of meal would Landor cook? The whole crew is exhausted. Even though they've been eating and now have some rest, they are still exhausted. What type of meal would you make?
Yeah, we would probably go heavy on the protein.
Okay.
It's heavy proteins, lots of green anything,
Okay.
very lean meats.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good.
Green, gross. I don't eat anything that's green.
Listen
Yeah.
here, you'll eat it or you'll be booted off the boat. You fuck.
Yeah, and then what's his face? Ganrick is like, yeah, you fuck. No.
I forgot about Ganrick.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like
there's-
that.
Or else you'll have to
Parrot.
answer to him.
There's-
and I
He's
point at
literally
Ganrick.
just a parrot unless you're yelling at him.
Yeah. There's a there's a moment where you are like when you're in the middle of cooking that you have to step away to like do something else like related to the ship, like managing the sail for a second because they need a tall boy to do it. And Ganrick, like behind your back, he thinking you don't notice, he like adds some extra spices, some dwarven spices, but you do see him. Do you reprimand him at all?
No, not yet. I mean, I'll try it first.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I'm assuming it is like maybe some type of stew or something. Like
I just want to make
oh.
sure he's not putting any like dwarven fire spice in there.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say, when you mean dwarven spices, are you talking about an entire bottle of booze?
No. It's like
yeah,
an
as
actual.
long as it's not like dwarven fire ale or whatever it is.
No,
that
it is-
incapacitates people.
It's like some sort of like fire pepper, like but here I'm gonna roll. Yeah, we'll say is a +1 modifier. We'll see how well he does. Like how much does he know the right amount to add?
I swear to God, if we have to make con saves eating this,
No, it's a 10, which is like literally just average. So you choose how you would react to. Like it's basically the type of spices an average person would think would be good.
I wouldn't say anything, but I would alter it slightly after he does what he does.
Okay. Actually, yeah. Go ahead and roll me your cooking check. With,
Fuck.
Yeah. With oh god, what did we use before? Wisdom? I think we used wisdom.
Yeah.
Yeah, wisdom I think makes the most sense. In this context, at least. Oh no. So yeah, like thinking back to when you used to live around more dwarves, because you did grow up in a land that was before you joined the crew, you lived in an area that had lots of dwarves. You're like trying to think, and you're thinking back, and you're like, okay, well this spice that he added, it's not like terrible, but it isn't really adding what I wanted as far as flavor to this stew. So then you're thinking back, you're like, how can I cancel this out and basically get it back to where I wanted? And you just like dump a bunch of spices in there that you think it will work from memory. And then after you've done it all, you're like, wait a minute. That was for a different spice. This one enhances those flavors in the worst way possible.
Yeah, I'm just going to look over to Ganrick after I retry it, noticing that it is not great anymore.
Yeah.
I'm going to look at him and be like, "What did you put in here, you idiot?"
Ganrick is like, I didn't do anything, okay? That was your spice.
You put something in here behind my back. I know it.
And it just turns into bickering. Eventually he'll grumble and be like, yeah, whatever. And he'll just sit there like sipping on his stew, and he likes it, but most of the crew is kind of like, it's not great. But, at the same time, they need food. They're not going to turn it away. So.
God, what a character to not have prestidigitation for.
Yeah. But yeah, so anyways though, so
Some magical spice to fix my brother's mistakes.
yeah. But yeah, so yeah, and so
Yeah,
this is
my cooking has never been good this whole time. You've just magicked the taste
Oh,
and said it was good.
yeah. So yeah, my brother's the best cook around.
I've just
but
been
he's
putting
never-
good berries in all of your meals.
Yeah. But yeah, so the fourth day beyond that passes without much incident. There is just a overwhelming sense of like there's tension, like this sort of sense that something is gonna happen eventually with either them or you guys. But so far, it has been just like this. And yeah, another full day passes. Unfortunately, this day of sort of rest, or basically what has to pass as rest for you guys, ends with the storm picking up again. Whatever storm has been hitting you is part of some large storm body. And the storm picks up again as night begins to fall for the fifth night of this chase. And as the storm picks up and night begins to fall, it picks up a lot until a couple hours after dark, it is once again near its peak again, just a battle just to stay afloat. At this point, though, and you do see the behind you, they're also struggling, but they are still on your tail. At this point, I actually want all of you to make me a perception check. And so remember, you don't have exhaustion anymore, so... Okay.
Let's go.
Well, I guess very good that we don't.
Yep, it would be the 22 for you. So, so Rook and Adric. So I guess, again, this is after hours of the storm picking up again, and just waves, these massive waves, lifting you up, and then falling back down again, dozens of feet high. Some of the biggest waves. As you've gone through this for a few hours, it's probably midnight if you had to guess. And what you all notice is that there is a shimmering... Or, sorry, not what you all notice. You would all notice eventually. But first, Adric and then Rook notice fairly early on that... Oh, it didn't update on the thing? Oh, yeah. See, I don't know what's up with that. Adric and then Rook soon after would notice a shimmering in the sky up ahead. Miles ahead, still, fairly far away, but you would see a shimmering in the sky. Adric would immediately recognize this to be an aurora borealis. The clouds up ahead.
Entirely in our kitchen.
Yeah. No, the up ahead, for whatever reason, you can see some of the sky poking through the clouds, or rather the clouds pushed back to reveal a thin strip of sky, and through that you can see flashing or kind of wavering green light in the sky. You're all from the north. You've all seen auroras before. But there's something quite striking about this one as it's wavering in the sky. And actually, looking up now, Adric, you are looking up now. You can actually see, even though it's very, very brief through glimpses in the clouds above you, you actually can tell it has been above you this whole time this evening, or at least for a few minutes now. There is the lights of the sky are all above you, past the clouds, hidden by the clouds, but there.
So this aurora seems more intense, perhaps, than it should be.
It's a pretty. It's you've seen auroras before, and you are fairly in tune with the stars and different kind of cosmic features and effects. and it's a fairly strong one to be able to even like poke through the clouds in some cases, or not poke through, but shine through.
Brother, I think we've gone even further north.
How far north do you think we've gone?
Well, I don't think I've seen the aurora this intense before. It's concerning.
Now that you mention it, the sky does look quite odd.
Does it seem colder than it has been at the start of the storms?
Roll me a nature check.
Oh, 18.
So I'll give you two things with this. So first off, so first to answer your question, no, it's not noticeably colder. It's also hard to tell just because like you're covered in rain and stuff, and also exerting yourself.
Acclimated to it.
Yeah, so it's hard to tell. Climate-wise, it doesn't seem drastically different. But what I will say from your nature check, as far as your location, you don't know where you are now, but you think you might be like somewhere up here.
We leaving the map, boys.
Yeah, so you think you are somewhere way up there, west and north. Beyond that, though, what you would know is that it is possible that instead of being related to the fact that you're so far north, it might just be that this is a strong, aurora. It obviously your character wouldn't necessarily know this or think in terms of this, but it could be like basically a magnetic storm or something. You know what I mean? Like a solar flare that is causing it to be extremely strong. And your character wouldn't know that it's a solar flare, but they would know that sometimes there are stronger auroras.
Yeah, being relatively young, probably not seen a major one since those happen like very infrequently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Either way, you would know that that is possible. And this is unfortunately you're still again not going at a quick pace, but rather just fighting against the waves here. So it's kind of you catch glimpses of this, and the rest of you will also soon see this. And Rook,
yeah, it's kind of one of those things.
Yeah.
Knowing is not even really comforting since there's not really anything we can do about what's going on.
Yeah, I wonder what Rook and Torgir. This is probably the first time either of you guys have seen something like this while on the open seas. I don't know. Would you guys be impressed at all, or?
Well, how far do orcs look or live up north? Like, do I know what this is?
Yeah, you've probably seen one or two before as well, or at least several, I would say, but not any this strong to be able to shine through storm.
Yeah, I think the fact that it's so strong and so brilliant and coming after a long storm and terrible battle, that it's a good sign for us. That it means that safety is to come.
Okay. Would you tell that to Shoal or anyone else, or?
Yeah, I'd nudge Shoal over and give him a little whisper and smile, and he might relay that onto other crew or the captain.
Yeah, he would definitely nod and say, let's hope it means the storm will let up soon. Because the storm is still raging on. But, yeah. What about Torgir? Torgir lived pretty far north and has definitely seen plenty of aurora effects, but none this strong.
I will be saying a prayer, thanking the divine for their guidance, and sending the serpent to allow for our escape.
Okay. I gotcha. Yeah. At this point, so this goes on for about another hour of just seeing this effect, until unfortunately, much to Rook and Shoal's dismay, well, probably all your dismay, but it seems that this was not a sign of good luck, at least not on its own, because the waves pick up even more to newer heights that you thought impossible until you see them. Your boat is being picked up and then dropped and then picked up and dropped and pushed forward the whole time. I need another perception check from all you guys. So, Adric will be the first to notice this. But this whole time, this kind of aurora has been shimmering down for about an hour now. But what he realizes is there was that thin strip of sky where it was more visible in the distance in front of you. And what you notice, what Adric notices after, again, about an hour, is that it's getting closer, or rather, you're getting closer to it. And it's not just the aurora in the sky. What you notice, Adric, it's very slight, but Adric starts to realize there's some sort of shimmering light, not just in the sky, but reaching down to the water. And it stretches as far as he kind of sees it. It stretches east, or not east, west, but he would probably be able to put together that it's roughly north, roughly south-ish, actually. As far as he can see, in either direction.
And it seems to be calm past that point.
No, it seems to be... It seems like the water on both sides is the same. Waves are passing through it with no resistance or anything. But there's this almost like a film of light stretching across the horizon. And you guys are getting closer to it.
So, Torgir was brought onto the crew because he is some sort of magic man. How well known is that?
You guys would probably all have heard rumors about him, actually. How supposedly he killed a Yeti single-handedly using his magics. It was actually quite the talk of the town when he joined.
Yeah, I guess honestly, while staring at it for a while, Adric would be contemplating whether he knows anything about what this could be.
Okay. Would you call it out to the rest of the crew? Or?
Yeah, he would call out, there's something ahead. Torgir, do you know what this is? Doesn't seem natural.
If you guys want, feel free to roll me a history check. I would say just the two of you. Ooh.
Nope.
Okay. So a 19, it's not a critical, there's no critical successes, but a 19 is still really good. This is a
I mean, it is a critical, but there are no critical successes.
Yeah. There is, and this is a piece of obscure knowledge, but Torgir does remember a myth he heard about long ago when he was a child, about how supposedly raiders in the past who had gone down the rivers and out to sea from his village and the surrounding areas had sometimes been blown off course so far to the west that they said they found the edge of the world, and what they described it as was a wall, a barrier separating them from whatever lay beyond. And it was something, in fact, Torgir thinks about it. He thinks some old man, some elder of the village had told this story and said he had seen it himself. No one really even believed him, though.
I will relay this information.
Yeah, Adric has no idea.
Fair. Honestly, I'm a transplant, and apparently it's the northern people that have been encountering this.
Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, this is some sort of phenomenon that is regarded in myths of Torgir's people, at least as being natural, a natural effect.
Ain't nothing natural about that. Don't look right.
Mm-hmm.
Don't smell right.
As you guys continue, unfortunately, or for better or for worse, rather, the storm is pushing you. The waves are pushing you in that direction.
Oh god, we're just gonna be bugs on glass, man.
And as you get closer, it becomes very clear to all of you that, yeah, there is a shimmering wall of light, essentially, ahead of you. I'm trying to think of a good description of what it looks like. what the light looks like. I would say, let's see.
Is it like the blue in PUBG?
No, it's more like it kind of
Does it
looks
resemble the aurora?
in color, yes. But I would say in texture, from what you can tell, it looks more like oh god, I'm trying to think of a. It looks like a maybe like a force field from like Star Wars. That's the best thing I could think of to describe it. Some sort of like Star Wars-esque force field.
Well, we've reached the Minecraft world border, boys. That's it.
A shimmering wall of light, essentially.
God, what would
It's a
we
fog
think
wall.
that would be?
it's a fog, like it's
Well, no, but
translucent,
in
but-
Dark Souls 1, the fog walls are called shimmering walls of light.
Okay, yeah, it's a fog wall, except better than Dark Souls ones.
Maybe this is where the auroras come from.
So
Maybe
there's a
it's
boss
the-
on the other side. Yeah. No, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Kragox.
That's my headcanon. Auroras are just this thing leaking into the sky.
Well, yeah, so you guys begin to get closer, and the waves are pushing you towards it.
When the waves collide with this wall, what happens?
The waves pass through it,
Alright.
as if it were not there.
See anything else passing through it? Or crashing into it?
There's not really anything else around, but it's possible if you have like a longbow or a crossbow, you could try.
How
to
far
hit
out
it.
is it?
It's very far out, so you would have to wait a little longer. But I would say you could do like it's not a specific target you're trying to hit, so you could probably hit at double the range of a ranged weapon to just hit it at all.
I'd shoot a crossbow at it.
Okay. Yeah. If you have a crossbow, yeah. So again, it would be a little longer, basically. But it's
Light
you know,
crossbow, anyways, max range is 320 feet.
Okay. Yeah. So as you guys are kind of starting to get closer to it, I mean that's the thing, right? Is like unless the captain has not given any orders, he basically says just keep going straight ahead, and it really again it's just not much rowing you can even do now. But he hasn't given any orders yet, and so the waves carry you closer and closer until you're about 1,000 feet away, and then you come closer to 500. And when you're about 500, 600 feet out, Landor is like, I could probably hit it. Not at a specific point, but just hit it. And so Landor
Do I notice this?
Sure, yeah, I would say.
I would approach Landor. We should probably wrap that in some sort of cloth and dip it in oil, set it afire, so we can better see the trajectory.
Do you have cloth and oil?
I presume you have oil, being the cook around here.
You would have some stuff.
You think I'm gonna waste my extra virgin olive oil?
No, you would definitely have like oil for lamps on the ship, so and rags. Yeah.
Just use your assistant spirit oil.
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, you could easily you could easily make a fire real quick. It would take an extra second or two, but you could do it.
As for cloth, I will take a dagger and just like cut one of my sleeves off.
Okay, sounds good. And yeah, you're easily able to make this fire arrow, this rudimentary fire arrow. And yeah, you aim the crossbow, basically just getting the best arc possible to get the most distance, and you shoot it. The fire arrow goes up, arcs, and as it reaches this wall of light, slams into it, and then drops straight down.
Oh no.
I start yelling, go around! Go around!
The captain sees this too, like everyone sees it, and everyone realizes, like, you're about to be smashed into this thing in a few minutes. And so the whole crew just like for their lives, their lives are on the line here. And they just start like rowing as best they can, fighting the waves, turning the ship around, and now rowing, putting you going directly at the other ships. And when you start doing this, like rowing forward, what you notice is that the other ships either don't notice or don't care about the wall, and they both start to converge on you, like they're gonna just try to ram you. And they are now rowing full speed to meet you guys.
We're fighting against the wall pulling us in, right?
It's not.
So they are likely going faster into it.
They are heading towards
expected.
the wall very quickly. It looks like they're basically aiming to hit you guys and try to stop their momentum that way.
Well, that's quite dumb of them. That's just going to kill all of us.
But yeah, so they are coming towards you guys, and what we're gonna do here actually is have a little bit of a kind of a mini skill challenge, which is a thing that I've done a couple times before, and essentially this will be a little different. I want each of you guys to think about how you would use a skill or some other feature in some way to be able to help out in this situation. And it could be, you can be as creative as you want, and basically, and then based on what you describe to me and how you're going to do that, I will set a DC for your roll, or some things might just be an auto success. If two of you fail, then there will be bad consequences. If 3 or 4 of you succeed, then you'll be fine. Well, we'll see about fine long term, but you'll escape unscathed from this collision potentially of these ships coming at you. So you're fighting the waves. You have these ships bearing down at you. How each of you guys has to think of a way your character would help specifically.
How close are the ships right now, and can I swim?
It is clear to you that if you jumped overboard, you would just be thrashed around and knocked out.
Okay.
You would
Alright.
probably be like either knocked into the ship and die, or knocked into the spooky wall of light and die.
It's specifically the it seems clear to you guys that the captain is trying to basically weave through the middle of these ships. He doesn't want to fight them. Because if fighting them in this case would entail them crashing into you and probably you all dying.
So they are coming at us in a triangle where we are the tip of a triangle.
Yeah, you're one end and they're the other two ends, basically converging in on you.
Okay, I recommend that we in the last small while row backwards.
Okay.
So that they converge in on each other while we pull back.
Okay, I gotcha.
Avoiding them. If they're just going to come at, a single point, and we are the point currently, they're just going to hit each other if we're able to move back at all.
All right. Yeah, so if you want, I would say that would be, if you want to basically direct that and have that be your participation in the skill challenge, like you can direct this maneuver.
Sure.
Okay.
Given my proficiency with woodcarver's tools, I am going to be on repair duty should any unfortunate eventuality occur.
Okay. More than that, as you're basically rowing into the waves, these massive waves, I would say it's likely that there's going to be some oars snapping that you can't repair them, but you could quickly replace them, toss them around. So I would say that would be your... that'll work for your tool proficiency to have a check there. Yeah, let's start with that one. So you're kind of helping out, making sure the ship stays together, basically. I would say that's...
I can't wait for my brother to be rowing with his frying pan.
In this case, I would say it's like I'd say it's a wisdom check. A wisdom wood carving tool check.
Manually. Yeah. Alright. Bam!
Okay. Unfortunately, that is not going to be a success. So, as Torgir is like looking around, getting some oars ready to like toss to people, someone's oar snaps, and he like grabs up this pile and then trips, and a few of them go overboard. A few of the extra spare oars you guys had go flying overboard. Yeah, but no. So as far as the rest of you, like so Perplex is basically, we'll do his last. His idea is essentially going to be to like, he might even like take over on the drums and like yell orders. The captain will let you to control this maneuver that you guys are going to do.
I mean, I don't know about me playing the drums, but
yeah, you can still yell out the orders. As far as the rest of the other two, so Rook, what would Rook be doing? What would Adric be doing? Like, it could be something as simple as just doing an athletics check to row as hard as possible, or it could be something creative. It's up to you guys.
I think I'd go to the bow of the ship and try to intimidate the other ships, not so that they turn away, but maybe they think twice about, spearheading right into us and kind of instead go alongside of us.
Okay. I will tell you, this will be a hard check, probably.
All right.
To be able to reasonably intimidate them in this situation.
Yeah.
While waiting to do my thing, can I give him advantage?
I'll
Cheerleader
allow it.
lift.
I'll allow it, yeah.
Can I rage to make myself scarier?
Ooh. Okay, I'll say if you're gonna, honestly, if with Lander helping you, and if you burn a rage, I will say that'll be I'll give you an instant success from that, actually.
Oh yeah.
Because you're burning a resource to do it. I'll let that just count as a success, honestly, because you're essentially just probably, I'm imagining, like letting out just a ferocious like scream, a blood-curdling roar.
Yeah, or like an orc war chant or something like that.
Yeah, and you're basically just letting your rage fuel this. And definitely, even with the storm raging, you can see that your cries pierce the noise all around of the downpour, and they are thrown off their balance for a second. Their rowing is kind of thrown off. And I would say that works. Okay.
All right.
So now you have one success and one failure. All right. Let's see. So Kragox, what is Adric going to do to help?
Does our ship have a... Okay, so we're trying to sail away, so we're facing them with our boat.
Yeah, and actually probably the sail's been furled up now because...
Yeah. Does our ship have a large figurehead sticking off the front?
Yeah, a decently large one.
Alright, tell you what. Adric will strap himself to the figurehead, and if they get within 15 feet, he'll thunderwave at the ships to try and knock as many of them away as possible.
I would say you don't even need to, like, strap yourself on. You can just be, like, hanging on to the top of it. Yeah. I guess you could have someone, like, strap themselves...
Hey, don't kink shame.
Someone will secure you to the deck, basically, to make sure you don't fly off. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So I will say that also will just count as an instant success. You'll have to burn one as the first one, because they're not completely even. So we'll say I'm going to have you burn just one spell slot for that, and that'll count as a success, though.
Alright.
So now you have 2 successes, 1 failure. It's all going to come down to whether or not Perplex's plan works. So, Perplex, I would say, in my mind, this would be perhaps a... I would say there's 2 ways, two types of rolls you can make. Or actually, no, I would say, what do you think is the roll you should make to successfully coordinate this maneuver?
Insight.
Insight? How would insight play into this? I'm just thinking on it. It could work. But...
Knowing the trajectory of the ships as they come in, knowing when we need to row backwards.
Okay, yeah.
Being able to predict when that perfect moment will be.
Okay. Yeah. That works. Yeah. I guess that makes sense. Yeah, I do like to use insight, not just in a personal like communication setting, but also like a moment of insight. In this case, into a situation. So, I'll allow it. Feel free to make an insight check. And
Let's go.
it's pretty fucking good.
Could be better.
Well, yeah, by one.
It's not green. It's not green. True.
But yeah, so you like kind of take the like literally the captain will let you take the wheel or the rudder. I don't know if it has a wheel, but the rudder, and let you order like bark out commands. And as you're kind of like seeing the waves go up and down, you see the chance in a moment of kind of insight. You see like we need to like basically hit the back pedal now, right? Because the plan was to back up and let them basically either collide or whatever. And you just yell this out, and the whole crew just immediately goes into reverse, pushing back with the oars. And it's at a perfect moment where actually like a wave comes and picks you up and helps you with this momentum shift. And you push back. And it works perfectly because the other ships had basically been locked into a ramming maneuver. They were both going to try to just ram up the side of your guys' ship and board you or whatever they were going to try to do. But instead, you see, they're, again, within 100 feet now. You see the decks of these two ships coming towards you guys at an angle. Warriors, like, screaming as they're rowing full speed. And then a look of horror as they both go down into a trough, like they, a valley between two waves. And they don't have any control in this moment. And they go BAM! And just collide, smashing into each other. One of them kind of going up on top of the other one. And the one that was on bottom, as they hit the bottom of the valley, you hear cracks of timber as it literally just, parts of it break, and water just floods on. And you hear screams as some people are literally crushed under the weight of the one ship coming down on the other. You guys, meanwhile, I'm assuming are going to then try to go to the side or something to get out of the way of the wreckage, or... Yeah. And the captain would take over again at this point with the maneuver complete. It's not really a big deal to get out of the way to the side, as the one that was on top still looks like it's mostly sailable, and kind of slides off the other one. The other one is already sinking; it's going down. Some of the warriors, the raiders on it are like in the water now, but they're just struggling to stay up. But the one that was further up is still floating, but you now that you guys are free, you're rowing away from the wall again. You see that they basically have no one rowing, and you see them slam into the wall. And a couple things happen. As it slams into the wall, you just hear and see splintering as the whole ship just crumples. More than that, you see some of the people on board literally get just launched from the momentum, launched into the wall. And when these living people get launched into the wall, they don't crumple against it. They disintegrate. Their bodies just go zzz, like they're getting fried by this thing. The ship, and what you notice is that the ship actually kind of like crumples, then kind of just gets bumped up into the thing, and bodies start just getting fried as they get close to it and touch it.
We need to get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
And so you guys are rowing and rowing. However, as Torgula says this, a large wave comes up. You see a large wave in the distance coming up, coming towards you guys. And before you can really do anything, it literally picks you guys up. And you see it is picking you up, and it's basically going to slam you into this wall. Unfortunately, your maneuver worked to get you out of the immediate danger. But this wall of water is now basically pushing you into this wall of light. this, I don't know, 40-foot tall wave just barreling into you guys. Your ship is basically picked up and is flying towards this thing, this wall of light at a high speed. Do any of you do anything?
Brother,
where?
do something.
Through a quick analysis, where do I think the last part, like the portion of the ship last to make impact with the wall is going to be?
So the wave has kind of picked you up and thrown you guys sideways. So it's kind of, I would say, slightly slanted, so that the back end is going to hit first.
All right, then I will run up to the front end as this is happening and click onto there.
Okay.
And
Where?
just hope that I can find a time frame to jump to not get hit into the light, or I'm gonna like wrap around to the underside of the boat and hope the boat impacts the light and not me.
Okay.
You said that there was still one boat that was following us, right?
No.
Or that was that, or did that one instantly went into the thing afterwards?
One sunk
Oh.
and the other one got slammed into the wall.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it was the order on that. Okay.
And I'm just going to tear-filled cry out to the divine for any assistance they might provide.
Okay. Yeah. Does when Torgir starts doing this, the old man, Avar, would also just basically he clearly has given up on making out of this and just basically falls to his knees in the center of the deck and raises his hands and just like cries out to the gods.
I guess
Yeah.
Adric will just look at his brother very dejectedly, and he'll chant something in Druidic and wave his hand at the wall, and a wave of light will go and hit it.
Okay. What about Rook? What is Rook gonna do?
I abandon my post and try to run to the rear of the ship, or whichever part of the ship is opposite the wall.
Okay. Yeah.
But
It'll be the front
of course, all right. I don't have my sea legs. I'm just bumping into stuff, bumping into people, tripping, and
Yeah.
I definitely don't make it to the other side in
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, and not to mention the ship is basically up on a wave, like almost sideways at this point. You probably fall. A couple of the crew members unfortunately fall off. They get just flung off into the water. Torgir, like hanging on to basically the front of the ship, like cries out to the gods. The whole ship again almost sideways, about to get slammed into the thing.
Yikes.
Adric, in a moment of just like panic, shoots a bolt of energy. It kind of just disperses into the wall, doing nothing. However, as the wave surges up, pushing you up, where it looks like it's literally about to launch you guys into the air to meet this thing. All of a sudden, the sky crackles, and a bolt of lightning slams down, hitting Torgir. Torgir, who is holding onto the front of the ship, feels electricity and energy coursing into his body. In fact, he feels his abilities that he hasn't even found out how they work, really surging forward. And he feels great power in him. What does he try to do with it? His eyes are probably glowing from the crackling electricity.
All right, so we're like already sideways, riding the wave.
Mm-hmm.
So getting rid of the wave isn't going to help us at all. So I'm going to try to like make a hole size enough for the ship through the light, I guess, for us
Okay.
to pass through.
Yeah, and so, kind of feeling this energy, you see that he actually, Torgir lets go. Maybe he doesn't even do this consciously. He lets go of the front end of the ship, and basically just is like standing there precariously, but is almost like glued in place, and just like reaches out with his hands, and crackling like electricity and lightning shoots out into the wall. And without even meaning to, Torgir basically motions his hands to the side. And what you notice is that the wall, it seems to, like, in the middle, it grows a little bit thinner and thinner until, after a split second, it just pulls apart. And there's like a loud boom, like thunder, except as if 100 lightning bolts had gone off at once. That just booms outwards. And the wall, you can see off in the distance, it is still clearly there, but there's a hole in it. Not just a hole big enough for the ship, but a wide hole, like a mile long width of this wall has been evaporated or pushed back. And you guys are still on this wave, but you're no longer going to be slammed into the wall. And as
So we're just going to capsize and die.
So as this happens, though, Torgir, once again, without even necessarily realizing what he's doing, literally uses pure magical force to stabilize the boat just enough that you kind of come over the crest of the wave and are now steady. And you guys start to go back down the backside of the wave. Some people literally come crashing down, like flip over or get thrown across the deck. I'm actually going to have, let's see, Tartress, I want you to make me a dexterity saving throw. Sorry. A dexterity saving throw. So not used to being in a situation like this. Unfortunately, Rook is like, Shoal is like screaming to him to like grab onto something. And he tries to, but he's kind of in the middle of the deck rolling around while this is going on. You get flung across and go like crack against the mast of the ship. You're going to take 2 points of damage.
I'm broken.
Right. Do I destroy the mast, or do I just hurt myself?
No, like, you just get banged up against it. But then you manage to grab onto it, and so now you're steady. And the ship starts to ride down into the next valley, a little bit of calm. And then what you guys realize is, for whatever reason, there's no other big waves following up behind it. But the ship is still moving as if there was. And I want perception checks from all of you guys. Oh, let's go. Torgir is actually going to be the only one to notice this at first, until it becomes more obvious. But Torgir still has all this magical energy flowing through him. His eyes are still glowing. There's energy in him. He's never felt anything like this, and almost like his senses are acutely honed in on everything around him. And what he notices is that in the very center, the epicenter of where he had ripped this wall in half, where it had met the water is spinning and spinning. And a small hole appears as water seems to be getting
Does it seem to be dragging us in?
You would, with the 20, you would notice that it is, it's not even clear what is happening yet, but something is pulling you in a concurrent circular motion now. And as a few seconds pass, the rest of you would start to notice, wait a minute, we're moving. But now we're moving a different direction than we were before. And it's not the way the wind is pushing, and there's no waves, there's no big waves right now, just small ones. The water's actually calmed down a bit. But then you all start to notice, wait a minute, the water in this whole area is spinning.
Does it seem as if it is just within this force field that we have bursted our way into? That it is spinning?
Yes, but it is expanding. And before you can even really react to it, you can see that it is spinning with a radius that goes out to at least hundreds, if not 1,000 feet or more. and you begin to see a maelstrom form. A whirlpool of water just spinning around. And you guys are right in the middle of it. Or rather, you're starting to be dragged around in it like a toilet bowl.
This is it, brother. We've had a good life.
Not over yet, friends. We can still make it out of this.
That crazy man was smited by the gods for doubting their existence, and now we're here.
I've heard there is life under the ground.
And yeah, it soon becomes clear that there's no escaping this thing. Even if you had full force, there would be no rowing out of this maelstrom. Which way is it spinning?
Still gonna try.
We'll say, I don't know. I mean, isn't that is... I know it's a myth that toilets flush in different directions, but I think maelstroms do, depending on your hemisphere, right?
Depends how big they are.
Yeah, this one's pretty big. Imagine as it starts to get going full strength, you can it's like the one from the Pirates of the Caribbean movie, where it's literally just like cliffs of water at a certain point.
I recently rewatched those movies.
Yeah.
They're pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot better than I remember them being.
But yeah, like the hole in the middle when it kind of finally gives out is like at least 50 feet across.
I'm going to, with this brief amount of time I have, go collect whatever I see fit from my kitchen.
Okay.
I'm gripping onto the mast and cursing Shoal's name for bringing me onto this boat.
And Shoal is like... he's busy doing like an orcish prayer to the god... I have a goddess of life and death, I believe, but I don't remember her name. He is... yeah. Well, I mean, so the center is only 50... Like, the very center is only about 50 feet wide, but it's really hundreds, if not thousands of feet of water getting pulled in. In a radius. And so...
After I collect my kitchen needs, I'm going to jump from the boat towards the center.
You gotta jump towards the center.
Well, yeah, I don't want to be near this big boat when we reach whatever's inside.
Okay, but so you're gonna wait until you, like, Are you gonna do that, like, right now when the water's still thrashing about and might knock you into the boat, or you gonna wait?
Well, no, you said it's gonna hit a point where it's almost like cliff faces, right?
Yeah, it's not nearly at that point yet, yeah.
Well, I'm jumping off the cliff when that
Okay, when it gets to that point, yeah. And that's the thing, it's not really a cliff, it's just it becomes very steep as it goes down and down. But it's like an exponential curve. Right now, as you guys are kind of spiraling down, you notice that the old man, Avar, is still praying to the gods, but he opens his eyes, and he looks at Torgir, and he shouts to Torgir and says, pray with me, brother.
With him.
The what, sorry?
I will head over there and pray with him.
Okay. And Avar calls out to all of you and says, pray with us!
As my brother's trying to jump off the ship.
I relay my plan to my brother, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he's still preparing to jump. You wouldn't... It's not time yet.
Fuck, we might as well pray before you jump off.
You mean we, right? You mean before we jump off, right, brother? Brother?
Brother.
Okay. So you guys...
Okay.
I'm assuming your character's somewhat half-heartedly or not really sure what it's supposed to do. Just pray out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And, does Rook... Shoal is already praying in Orcish, but he looks over to Rook and says, pray to our gods!
I'll start praying. I'll curse him out first. I wouldn't have to pray if you didn't get me on this goddamn ship. And then I'll start praying.
Yep. And so the whole ship just becomes a center of prayer as the ship is just going around on its own. But you hear booming thunder and lightning going off all around you. And some of you may have closed your eyes or not. But you see another large bolt of lightning goes crack right into the middle of the maelstrom. And as you are finally getting pulled to the point where it looks like you're about to just fall, free fall almost, a wall of light appears in the bottom of it, of the maelstrom, as far down in the hole as you can see. And this wall of light is not like the other one. This one is glowing with purple and it's like kind of like these dark oranges. If anything, you think that you see stars inside of it. And it literally kind of defies imagination as this plane, this wall, or this floor, starting deep down in this hole of water, starts to rise up to meet you guys.
It's a hole in the sky.
What do you mean the sky, brother? That's in the ocean.
And as you say that, as Landor like yells this out, the ship kind of just like teeters off to the side and then falls straight towards it. And the whole crew just like you hear screams as people grab onto stuff. Do you still try to jump out towards this wall of stars now that is coming up towards you, or?
Oh, before we would have like eclipsed the cliff, I was jumping away from the boat.
All right, so you jump out. Landor jumps out. Does Edric follow him?
Tell you what, yeah, he'll like, from what everyone else can tell, he'll just disappear, but a mouse does latch on to his brother.
Okay, a mouse latches on, and
she used me as cushion.
Landor. So I would say Rook and Torgir, you see Landor jump out of the boat into the pit until he hits the flat surface that looks like a starry surface, and he just disappears.
As he's like jumping off, I'm going to just turn and yell, "Adric, talk some sense into your bro."
Yeah, and and then the ship, like I said, falls.
I swear, if it falls on us,
the ship. You all see.
No, we got plenty of time.
You all see the stars rushing up to meet you, and
I'm gonna run as far away from those stars as I can. I've already seen one spooky wall.
There isn't really any running. You can like crawl, but yeah.
He's climbing the ship, trying to stay out of it.
Yeah, and as you kind of climb the ship, the ship goes zoom. And we're gonna take a quick little break. It's a good time to take a break.
Alright. All I'm gonna say is it when it goes zoop, you know what kind of sound it makes. You don't have it turned on right now.
Yeah, the hot dog. It goes boom. Yeah. But yeah, we will take a break here, and then we'll find out what the heck has happened to these boys.
But yeah, don't worry, brother. If we hit solid land, small creatures like mice basically can't die from terminal velocity. So I'll just heal you.
But yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm gonna mute us on stream, and we'll be back in a few minutes.
I got that Manitoba wheat bread.
You gotta have your what's it called, the X number?
The strong wheat.
No, it's the
W score.
The W score. That's like I couldn't remember. What's up? Welcome back, chat. Anyone watching? We're talking about patty melts and Manitoba wheat. So
I'm totally gonna have a gut ache because I just like snarfed down a third of a pound of hamburger and a bunch of potatoes.
Just deep throated a burger melt.
That's the reason you use butter is not because it's for taste, it's for lubrication.
So, welcome back. We are gonna go a little while longer.
Just drink it with like a side of olive oil.
Oh god.
I want to choke now.
Welcome back. We are gonna continue where we left off with you guys going through this this plane, this surface of stars, it looked like. An inky kind of void and stars. And what you see on the other side, it probably, let's think about this. So Landor and Adric, you fell through first. And as soon as you hit this surface, it's almost like it's strange because it's like you hit water, like you cannonballed into water, except that at the same time, everything around you has changed. Everything around you, you are in what feels like water. It's acting like water. And you kind of probably are submerged in it when you fall in. But quickly swimming to the surface, you see stars in every direction. As in, up above you are more stars than you've ever seen in your life. And below you, seemingly in the water, are stars. The water itself has no texture to it, nothing. It is perfectly clear, besides some shimmering on the surface here and there. As you essentially just are in a very calm pool of water or plane of water-like substance with stars surrounding you 360 degrees. Give me a second. And it looks kinda... It is taking some time to load in for me. It looks kinda like this. A void. Except it's not really a void. It is dark. It is an inky sort of blackness. But there's also, again, millions, billions of stars, more than you could ever see before. The ship isn't there yet, by the way, but this is just to show you what you're seeing in the background. And then sort of wavy kind of wisps of clouds, not just above the surface of whatever liquid-like thing this is, but also below you. There are just stretches of blue and orange and red and purple clouds, like nebula clouds is what we would describe them as. It looks like you're floating inside of a nebula or something. But at the same time, the stars you see, they all seem equally distant, or rather, some of them are a little brighter, some of them are a little smaller, but in general, it's not like there's a star right next to you. No, it's just a wall, or it looks like you have a canopy of stars below you and above you. And as you guys kind of take this in, maybe for about 10 seconds, the ship comes smashing in. Luckily, the ship just pops into existence next to you guys in a way where it essentially kind of the front end actually does dip under the water or whatever this water-like substance is, but then it kind of goes up. The buoyancy of it lifts it up. And the rest of you are a little splashed. Some of you kind of hit the deck or are slammed against the deck again from the sudden momentum change. But you find yourself in this place I just described. The ship sits on this calm surface, and you see stars around you, above and below you. This plane of, again, water is there, but there's no floor below it. It seems to just go down until there's stars below you. And the ship sits here calmly, not moving at all. It's almost completely silent as well, creaking of wood from the ship.
Okay, so am I to assume that both the ship and me are just sitting here floating in what seems like space?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it feels like water pretty much, but you're floating basically 30 feet away from the ship, which is now floating. It feels like water, but it is completely translucent. almost transparent. It's just like the slightest bit. Really, the only way you can even tell that there's a surface here is that there's kind of some shimmering waves that go across it.
How does the ship look?
It's beat up, it's battered, but it is still in working condition.
I will swim over to the ship.
Okay. The captain and all the crew are just looking around in wonder. What is Rook doing?
I turn to Shoal and say, "We've died. We are in the afterlife."
Shoal is like looking around. He's like, we could be dead. I don't know. And yeah, Landor clambers back up. Adric is still a mouse, like on his shoulder or whatever.
Probably unnoticed.
The captain is like comes over, and he's like, "What? What were you thinking, Landor?"
Either I was gonna die on the ship or on my own. I chose my own death.
He's like, "I suppose it doesn't matter now that we're all here."
And where is here?
He looks to you with a look of like, he clearly doesn't know what the fuck is going on. And he's like, I have no idea. This is actually a good time. I would like for all of you to make me either, we'll say either nature or arcana or even religion checks. Any of those. Nature, arcana, or religion. Which I think are all intelligence based. Or, I'll say history as well if you want, but...
I do not want history.
Okay.
What were the options again?
Nature, history, arcana, or religion. Which are all intelligence based, I think, but...
So animal handling is not...
No. No. You handle your animal brain to... Yeah, you handle your animal brain to remember more. No.
Can I roll animal handling to see how well I take care of my brother?
You could do that, yeah. That's fine.
Have you even noticed me yet? You just yeeted off, and while you turned away, I just like jumped on you and turned into a mouse.
Well, I told you the plan, and you said you would come with, so I believed that was you.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
Yeah,
noticed.
so... Okay. So I would say that,
I finally did the voodoo.
like, yeah.
I'm sure this isn't the first time you've transformed into a small creature in front of me.
It is actually.
Yeah, I think
I'm sure it's not, though.
Maybe he's talked about wanting to.
I like the idea that you just assume that small mice in the kitchen are me. So I'll then come over and like berate you about something that you didn't notice me just watching you doing something. It must have been a mouse.
Well, yeah. So the you guys are like as far as you can tell, like it is perfectly calm here. No storm. You don't see anything in any direction besides stars, and I would say with this check, Rook and Adric Rook kind of after a moment or two putting these together realizes, just intuiting, he's like no, we're not dead, but we're not where we were before. We're in some other realm, and Rook is not a very learned person, so he probably might think like we're in the realm of the gods or something. Adric is also able to put this together. He realizes there's no way this is the same world anymore. What I would say though is Adric doesn't know what it is necessarily, but what I would say is that he's able to look at the stars and looking around, he sees some constellations that he recognizes. But then he also sees dozens that he doesn't recognize.
So where are the ones that I recognize?
Pretty much all above you.
So it's almost like our vision got wider of the stars.
Could be, yeah. That's one possible interpretation of it. One possible explanation.
I guess at this point, Adric would scurry down off his brother and turn back to normal, and just, while looking up and consulting some carvings he has, I think we're in the sky somehow.
The old man, Avar, has been sitting here looking up in wonder and whispering to himself. But then he stands up at this point. He's like, "We are in the astral sea, the sea of stars. The land, the world between all worlds."
How do we leave?
How much is known about space?
Not that much, but not by you guys at least. Like higher level mages.
Yeah, no, I just meant like in the world in general.
I don't know.
Yeah, like what's the common knowledge of, like,
people know there
is
are
the planet
other...
a sphere as far as people are concerned? Stuff like that.
People know there are other planets. People know there are other... I don't think people would really know that other stars are actually other suns, you know what I mean? But people believe there to be other worlds. And there is documented travel between other worlds. People don't really have the idea of traveling through space to reach them, mostly using magic to teleport. So, and your characters might understand that it is possible to go to other places, other dimensions, it would be called, basically, other realms. But the idea of traveling through space itself is not something that is really thought of.
So wait, if the stars we recognize are above us, does that mean that we came from down there? And he'll point at the sea.
Do you look below you? Like look
Yeah.
over the edge?
There, like, I don't expect to be able to recognize anything, but
Yep, it's just constellations you've never seen before. I guess you'd have to invent the constellations because there's just stars you've never seen before.
yeah, I guess at this point, Adric will just start mumbling to himself while, like, scrawling whatever he can see below him into the back of his shield with a knife.
Okay, I like it. Yeah, roll me like an intelligence check, like just flat intelligence check.
Oh no. Brother, give me strength.
Not bad. Yeah, you draw a fairly detailed representation of the more noticeable stars that you can see and more noticeable patterns. Although, like I said, there's tons of stars. It's it's like if you ever seen a high exposure photograph of like a very non-light polluted area, looking at the sky, it's like that.
If possible, he will also take the opportunity to take his little seashell, or not, like clamshell star map of the normal sky and expanding around the edges.
Okay.
Since it seems like this is just presumably showing more.
Okay, yeah. Sounds good. You can definitely do that. Well, that'll be part of that roll. Yeah, okay. Let me write that down. Let me write that down that you have that, because it could be important later. Okay. After a few minutes of everyone just like staring, like the captain doesn't seem like he's gonna even give orders yet. He's kind of still taking it in. Do any of you do anything, or?
What are the orc gods like? Are they, like proving yourself through battle kind of gods, or?
Some of them are. The orc
Right.
pantheon is all focused about a cycle of life, death, and rebirth.
Okay.
Basically, in times of peace, orcs should be peaceful and bountiful in their harvests. In times of war, it's time to put those harvests to good use by making able-bodied men able to go and conquer or defend. And then when those men die or grow old as veterans, they should be laid to rest and a new generation brought up in their stead, and it repeats, So
Okay.
that's the basic idea.
So what is my moisture level?
Yeah, since you're in the water, what looks to be water, you actually don't have any. You're not wet at all.
Okay, I would have tried to scavenge some form of liquid container from the kitchen that is
Okay.
probably disheveled at this point.
Okay.
And I just want to be able to scoop some up
Okay. Sounds good.
of whatever is keeping us afloat.
Absolutely, you're easily able to do that.
And I'd like to just keep that for later.
Okay, sounds good. Do you taste it at all?
Not yet.
Okay. So, the captain looks around to all of you and is like, he would probably look to Kragox's character, Adric, and be like, where do we go? And how?
Well,
Is that? Oh yeah, sorry.
I don't know if we could get directly back to our home from here, but perhaps we could row through the stars and see if there are any features to it.
He nods and he looks to the
We should
crew.
be able to come back to this point if nothing else.
He nods and he looks to the crew and says, "You heard that, everyone. I know not what is happening here, but let us be on our way." And he
I'm gonna ask the captain if he still has a spyglass.
yeah, he does. He would hand it to you. Shrug.
Yeah.
It's one thing that would be noticeably different about the water we're in is it would presumably not be salty.
You didn't taste any salt when some would have gotten in your mouth.
Yeah.
But what would you think it would taste like?
Well, we came
We
from
don't
the
know
sea,
what it is.
so I assume it would have tasted like the sea, and then when it didn't,
Yep, it tastes like the sea.
oh no.
It tastes like the sea.
To Adric it does.
Okay.
Oh god. This is all mental. The world's what you want it to be, man.
Yeah, I wanted to just look around with the spyglass.
Okay. Yeah, you look around.
Observe like the horizon line.
Okay, yeah, it'll take a little bit to do that because you're kind of adjusting to what you're seeing, but roll me a perception check. Meanwhile, the rest of you all begin to row. And it feels like water, and as you would expect it to. But at the same time, it's like looking overboard, it doesn't splash like water, it's very calm. What was I going to say? As you guys are rowing, well, no, we'll get to that. So Landor, looking around, in all directions on the horizon, there's not really any, there's no islands as far as you can see, nothing like that. Just this kind of surface, and it gets hard to see because the surface is not, it's completely almost transparent, except for a little bit of shimmer on the surface at the very top. But you kind of look at where you think the horizon is and start looking around. And most of it is fairly featureless. But what you do see, in one direction, you actually do see not anything in particular, but rather there's like something is blocking some of the stars. There's clearly some sort of black mass blocking the stars.
I will suggest to the captain to head that direction.
Okay. The captain will nod and have everyone start rowing that way. And everyone starts rowing in that direction.
At some point, when we start rowing in that direction, Adric will absentmindedly toss something that would presumably be buoyant off the side to see if it stays and fades away.
Okay. It floats, and you kind of watch it as it goes, as you pass it, and it, as far as you can tell, it just stays there floating.
Okay, so it does seem like we're moving.
Yeah. You're actually moving at a good pace. About the top speed you would expect on like a lake, a fairly calm body of water. And you start to head towards this. Again, it's not really, you can't really see anything. It's more like a lack of being able to see the stars in this direction. It was a very small patch, but you're actually fairly quickly getting closer to it. Of this, the small area on the horizon where the stars are blocked out by blackness. One thing you don't hear. I actually would like an insight roll from all of you now. Okay. Landor's the first to notice. Landor, because it has been a while, and also, one of the things that was always top on his mind is food and meal schedules and stuff. Thank you, Zyle. Landor realizes that, wait, I haven't cooked in a while. And then he realizes he hasn't eaten in a long time, actually. It was when that whole set of events happened at the end. It happened at a kind of awkward time where it was a long time since the last meal. But he doesn't feel hungry. And then...
I was going to say, I would like to have started to boil some of the space water.
Okay, so probably when you're doing that, you're realizing, you're kind of doing that out of habit. You're starting to boil it, but then you realize, like, wait a minute, I'm not even hungry, even though I was hungry before we came in here.
Yeah, I would more be boiling it out of curiosity, and then probably, during that be like, wait a minute.
Yeah. And then a little bit after this, Tartrus, so Rook and Adric would realize, not that thing, because they're not necessarily thinking about food right now, they would realize, like, man, it feels really easy to do this rowing here. Like, it is not tiring at all. It's effortless.
I think that would confirm my suspicions that we're in the land of the gods without feeling hungry or tired, and that it would make me want to stay in this land rather than try to leave.
Okay, so you start to think about it, like maybe we're in the land of the gods, and then you think about like you kind of consciously think, like, am I tired? And then you realize you're not tired. You don't feel tired at all.
Mm-hmm.
You don't feel tiled. Yes, you have tiles all over you. No, you don't feel tired at all.
Do you feel hard-wooded, though?
But yeah, so... so you all kind of start realizing these things around the same time.
How does everyone feel?
The other crew would be like, oh, I feel fine, actually. The old man stands up fully and, like, cracks his back and it stands straighter than you've ever seen him stand. He's like, whoa.
Bizarre.
What's the temperature like?
It's cool, but not too cool. It's probably, like, in Fahrenheit, about 60, 65 degrees, maybe 70 degrees. It's about room temperature. I don't know. What we would call room temperature, rather.
Depends on the room.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, now there's something that would be interesting to contemplate. Where would the moon have been if we were still on?
I mean, I don't know, but you would know. So,
Yeah.
It is not where it should be.
Yeah, like just the foreignists. Adric probably didn't even think about that, considering the Earth is also gone underneath us. But yeah, you'd be like looking where you would assume it would be this time of year.
Yep, not there. Yeah, no sun either.
Yeah, it's. Well, would it have been during the day by now?
It's hard to tell. In fact, actually, this is a good chance for you to all roll me another insight check.
F.
Oh no. Oh, let me make sure it updates. Oh no. Oh, okay. Landor, so this makes sense. We can roll this off the other one that he had. So Landor, realizing he isn't hungry, he's like, but I could swear that it is about to be time for like breakfast or something. And then he realizes, like, wait a minute, how long have we been here? And he can't quite. It's not that he can't remember. He feels like they just got here. But at the same time, it also feels like it's been like a day or a week, and he has no idea. He realizes how long you guys have been here.
Has my water started to boil?
It starts to boil right when you think of it and you look back at it. A watch pot never boils, but once you look at it, it starts to boil.
I will assume it has been that long then.
Okay, sure.
The roughly half an hour that it takes to boil water.
Hey, what's the air pressure, buddy? No, right.
Yeah, you would see, it boils. It looks like normal water boiling in the pot. It's still very clear, but water is normally clear, so,
Yeah,
I will say, by the way, it's as far as light levels in this place, unless you guys light some lamps, it is fairly dim light, but there's also just a lot of stars, so it's not, impossible to see.
Yeah.
Is all the light coming from the stars?
Yeah, but there's so many stars, again, unreasonably more than you would ever even possibly be able to see in real life in the normal world. Think of the most starry night you've ever seen with the least amount of light pollution, and then multiply that by 10. It's a crazy amount.
I'm going to bring cups of water around all of the crew.
Okay.
So I guess that means that it would be fairly dim on the ship, but there's not really anything other than stars to notice outside the ship.
Yeah. And you all drink some of the water.
We're here forever now, boys.
Yeah. I don't know, Tartarus, when you look at this water, it's very it's clearer than normal water in the sense that it almost looks invisible till you kind of slosh it around in your mug.
This was the water that he had taken from the sea?
Correct.
And who are you giving it to?
Everyone.
We're all drinking it.
Yeah.
So wait, I had perceived.
I boiled it for safety.
Water.
Yeah. Wait, but this is still. Why would we drink this? It's still salt water. Yeah.
That's what
I boiled it for safety.
I don't know. I honestly don't know if other people would think it's salt water. But Adric would actually spit it out. Why did you give me salt water?
Okay, Rook, when you look at yours, it looks super clear. Do you think it's what do you think of it?
I'm gonna drink it. It's the water of the gods, so I'm gonna lap that shit up. Unless it's salt water.
So as you drink it, you hear Adric spitting it out and being like, "Why'd you give me salt water?" But to you, it tastes so refreshing. It tastes like the freshest water you've ever had, almost like it's from a glacier. You drink in glacier water before when you've been out with patrols from your village. It tastes like that, but better, almost as if it has been Divinely blessed. There we go.
Too much water.
Like in your
Blinded
mind.
by the divest.
Yeah, in your mind, it tastes divine in a literal sense of the word.
Okay, so I'm gonna drink deeply from my glass, and then I'm going to shout to the captain that we are in the land of the orc gods, and that we should be of use to them and stay here. And this water is sweet and delicious.
The captain just.
And the all right, yeah.
He shakes his head. He's like, I don't know where we are, but I'm glad that you seem comfortable.
Captain, why is the orc human man yelling?
Don't worry about what he's saying. He's just excited to be here. The captain
And
says
wait, is he
reassured.
guzzling down the seawater? Should we stop him?
The captain calls out and he's like, "What does that water taste like to you, Rook?"
It is sweet and delicious. I feel refreshed like I never have before.
Do you drink?
How did it
salted...
taste to me?
I don't know. What do you think of this place? Does it look? Do you think this is an ocean?
No.
What do you think it is?
No, I came out of here completely not wet at all.
Okay. To you, it tastes like nothing. It literally tastes like nothing. Which, like, water, I guess, kind of tastes like nothing, but no, there's, like, minerals and stuff, you know, normally. It tastes like distilled water, we'll say. Which I've never tried, but I've heard is awful tasting. But...
So, it would be...
It's okay.
I feel like... Imagine just being used to distilled water and then drinking any kind of tap water from anywhere.
Yeah.
It would just be bizarre.
It would just taste like iron or mineral.
At this point, so you guys have been doing this as you've been drawing closer to this kind of mass that...
The whole crew just arguing over what the water tastes like.
Yeah, the reactions from the rest of the crew is fairly mixed, by the way. Some people are like, "Oh, it tastes good." Some people like tastes like nothing. Some people spit it out; they think it tastes like seawater. As you kind of been discussing this, you have drawn closer to this mass that was kind of blocking the stars in the distance, and it wasn't actually. It appears that it wasn't even that far away. It was about maybe a mile away. I mean, it's hard to judge distance, but like what you would kind of consider to be around a mile on normal water.
Based on our perception of time, which is also apparently unreliable.
Yeah. And so as you draw closer, you do see that it is... What you see is that it's almost like there's just a... Kind of like, almost like an oil spill. Like an inky blackness sitting on the surface of the water.
Oh, you know I'm scooping that.
Okay. So as you guys kind of... Are you just going to have the captain's going to look to Landor, basically be like, should we pass over it or stop next to it?
Hold on.
Oh, I mean, I'd have no idea. Ask my brother about what we should do with it.
Okay.
I just want some of it.
We fell into this place. We fell through a hole that looked like stars. And that looks like a hole in the stars. I think we might fall through it.
The captain is like nods, and he's like, better safe than sorry. And so he'll order the crew to basically pull up next to it. And so they pull up next to it.
Brother, jump in.
It's in the spot where you wouldn't need to jump in. You could just like reach overboard and
Yeah, I was gonna
someone.
say I'll drop a bucket in or something.
Okay, yeah. So you kind of like get to the edge of the deck, drop a bucket in. But as soon as you do, these sort of inky black tendrils start shooting up the rope and up past the bucket towards the ship. And it will be...
Okay.
It wasn't a hole.
It
Not the
will...
kind of hole I was thinking.
It will be initiative. But let me drag out your tokens here. Hold on.
Eldritch horrors from beyond the stars.
Actually, I'll have... let's see. Can you guys drag out your tokens? Because for me, it's not saved properly.
No.
Oh god, I hope we're not
Yeah, I
fighting like the source of like Hunger of Hadar or something.
No,
How
I don't
do
have
how
access
would
to
I?
a token.
It's
No,
fine.
you don't have access to it.
Yeah, I'll just... I got it. Okay.
Oh, I put my picture on the map.
Yeah, you can drag
Yeah.
your profile picture, but it's
So
unfortunately
let's
not our
see.
token.
Let me also... I wanted to give the visual effect here, but let me, real quick, to make it work better, add lines so we can see the grid. There you go. So, give me one moment here.
One moment, please.
Sorry. Let me make sure. I'll make sure to save these tokens after this. This is Landor. You should now be able to control your token.
These boys about to get hentai.
I cannot control my token.
Who said that?
That's Londo.
Oh god.
I cannot control.
Yeah, I'm still working on yours. Hold on.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, there we go.
Okay, now you should all be able to control your tokens. Alright, and you should be able to, so if you select your token and then roll initiative, it will be initiative.
Yikes.
It's not terrible. It's not great. So hold on. As you begin to see these tendrils, these inky tendrils, kind of like, it's almost like Venom, like in the Spider-Man movies, where it's like latching on and pulling itself up. But then as it kind of pulls itself up towards the deck, there is sort of a shadowy but almost gooey figure, like the shadow of a humanoid figure, that takes its form aboard the vessel. And it will... Hold on. It will pull itself up right here. At the same time, further down the lengths of the ship are a few more that pull themselves up. Another one pulls itself up right about here and immediately looks at Rook. And we'll start moving to Rook once we get to it. On the other hand, the other one, there's a few others that come aboard at the same time. They all these sort of like inky figures start to clamber aboard, and the crew will be fighting them alongside you. Also,
This boy admitted what their dexterity is.
Yeah, you can see that. Let's see. I don't see your initiative roll, Tartarus.
Oh, sorry.
You should be able to. Okay.
There you go.
There you go.
Oh,
Oh yeah, you have to click on your token, like make sure it's selected, and then
well.
and then you can do it, and we can just edit it.
All
There
right.
you go. So we'll just edit that to a 7. And who has a higher initiative, Landor or Rook? Rook
What's
does.
your dex?
He's got at least an 11 or 12. It looks like, because he's got a +1. So.
Okay, then. Yeah.
All right. So yeah. Okay. And so these inky figures start to clamber aboard. Adric will be the first to go. What, Kragox, what is Adric gonna do?
What is Adric gonna do? I guess he's gonna grab his spear and thrust it at this thing next to him.
Okay. Nice.
Two-handed.
Okay. Oh.
Yo.
Oh. Yeah. So kind of seeing your brother in danger, you just swing into action, thrusting with the spear two-handed. Is that a magical weapon?
No.
Okay. So you hit it like right where, again, it has a roughly humanoid shape, although it's not clear if it doesn't have any human features. It's just humanoid. You stab it right where like a person's heart would be. And it just kind of, your spear kind of sinks into like it and like kind of oozes around it. It's clearly hurt, but it's not hurt as much as you expected. It is resistant to your damage, but it still takes 5 damage.
All right. So he'll look kind of horrified and then look at the stars and start. He'll have points of light start glowing at his joints,
Okay.
and then a constellation of stars that vaguely appears like an archer will just shoot a star at this thing.
Oh, okay.
So let's see, that'll be a spell attack, so it'll be a d20 plus 5 is my bonus right now.
Okay.
So, boop. Nope.
That
7.
is unfortunately not a hit. Okay.
I'm learning from Tartarus.
But yeah.
But yeah, I need to set that up as a thing I can actually roll.
Let's see. Fix the stream a little bit. There we go. There we go. Okay, so yeah. Yeah, I don't know why this freaking browser extension is not doing what it's supposed to be doing. Here, let me hold on. I'm gonna try to figure it out real quick. Let me just put the overlay up and then I can look at it. Oh, hold on.
Oh.
Okay. Okay, we'll see if it works now. I've changed some of the options. If not, whatever. I'll figure something out for next week. But yeah. Alright, so either way, let me put the back up on screen. Okay. So that was Adric's turn, right? So the first of these things is going to finish crawling up on deck, and then almost like glide over the floor towards Rook. It's gonna reach out and grab you. And it's actually very hard to even see this thing. There probably is like a lamp or lantern lit on like hanging from the mast, and so that's the only way you're able to really see it. If it was just the starlight, it would be very hard to see it. And it will try to attack at you. Does a 13 hit?
Nope.
Darn. You're lucky. You're lucky, mister.
Darn. Sorry.
That's all that thing does. It is now Rook's turn. It's your turn. Updated it.
All right. I'm a little bit frightened of this thing. I can barely see it.
Okay.
It's reminds me of like a demon or a ghost or something like that. So I'm gonna head to the other boys.
Okay.
How far can I move?
So you have 30 feet of movement, which is like 6 tiles.
Okay.
But
Okay.
unless you disengage, you will take an attack of opportunity from this thing.
All right. Okay.
If you do
So maybe
that,
not then.
I mean, so you can use your action to disengage, and then you won't, and you can use your movement freely. But if you use your action to disengage, you wouldn't be able to attack. So it's up to you.
Okay. Shoot, I forgot the other things I have. Right. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna disengage then.
Okay, sounds good.
And then we'll go right here.
Okay. Good stuff. Alright, you have if you wanted to bonus action, you could rage now, but I don't know if you think that is necessary.
I'll wait.
Okay, sounds good. Alright, so that is Rook's turn. It is now Landor's turn.
It is Landor's turn. I mean, I guess simple enough. Are we big? Or
oh yeah, I forgot to stretch you guys out. Yeah, sorry.
Didn't even occur to me, honestly.
Yeah, there you guys go. You're big.
we're big?
And I am a big man sometimes.
Thank goodness.
I'm big
Fuck.
dabba dee dabba doo. Here, Tartress, I'm gonna edit your health real quick to be max, just so I can save it on your screen, and then we can change it back again.
Okay.
I'm just gonna do it.
I'm debating trying to grapple this thing.
Okay.
It is like literally like sucking it on the tip of my spear that I try to stab it with. So.
Well, it's giving it the good suck.
I mean, you're not wrong, but I still am debating it.
Just jump in it.
Jump in it. Okay.
Oh, God.
Okay. No, we'll just give it the old sword whackaroo.
Okay, give me a second.
Hello?
Did
It's
it
not
go-
going through for me?
It has not gone through for me.
Okay.
It has not gone through for me. Yeah.
Okay. It's not going through.
Is it
Let
going
me
through for anyone
close-
else?
Let me
Nope.
close my character sheet and reopen it.
F.
Here, I will do a thing.
No, I can't even. Hold on. I gotta
Nothing
refresh the
on
page,
that.
I think.
Oh,
There-
I heard
Uh,
something, but I don't see
It's
it.
broke on my end too, actually.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna
I
refresh.
just,
So my thing.
No, the site won't even refresh for me.
yeah, I think Roll20 is just having issues.
Roll
I
Yeah.
think so.
Does it let you manually roll, like if you do /roll?
Oh, I mean,
The whole site's frozen for me.
Yeah, it's sometimes
I was
Roll20
gonna
does
say-
this.
yeah, it just has rolling dice ... for me.
Mm-hmm.
I closed out of the tab. I'm gonna get back in.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. F. We'll see if we can reboot it.
Oh,
Okay, I'm back in.
I am also back in now.
Let me
back.
Let's see if my character sheet opens. It does.
I'm refreshing on my end. Monka.
Oh god, stuff is definitely not right though, because when I tab back to my sheet, half of my attacks and spellcasting got duplicated in name, but then the
Yeah.
one are lacking the.
Drake had
Yo.
that happen, I think. In
I'm
our
gonna
other
close and
game.
hope that that's not actually like there forever that I have to get rid of.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh,
somebody
yeah.
Turned it off and on again. Like the
Yeah,
server.
no, like all of my attacks are now duplicated.
Yeah, that apparently.
Oh yeah,
has
they are
happened
literally
before.
just there now.
Yeah.
I guess I'll delete them and hope
Yeah.
that I'm not deleting the original somehow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. I don't know. Does it let you roll perplex?
Let's see.
Hey.
Yeah, there you
go. Okay. Let me look and see if that does not hit their AC. Actually, they're not particularly. It's not like they have armor. It's more like it's just hard to kind of see their form. You know what I mean? So, and it's kind of their form is kind of wavering naturally, so it's hard to hit. So.
Okay. What about that one?
Nope. Yeah, I'm assuming that was that action surge one or
Yep.
F. Yeah, nope, not a hit, unfortunately.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah, that'll take us unless you have a bonus action. That will take us to.
I have
Next
no
one.
bonus action things.
Okay. Also, hold on. It was desynced on my end. Yeah, I think Roll20 is having issues tonight. But either way, this thing will reach out. The one that you had impaled, it's literally still impaled on your spear. But while it's there, it reaches out, and these kind of gooey, inky arms reach out towards Adric to try and grab him, try to give him the bad touch. Bruh.
That
I'm assuming that's a miss.
that hits.
It hits. What is your AC?
11 without a shield.
Oh shit. Oh fuck. You don't
I
have
have
like mage
leather armor
armor?
on. I two-handed my shield.
Yeah. Okay, so you're gonna take 11 necrotic damage, and also, shit, I should have hit it so you couldn't read the whole thing.
Yeah, you've been telling us what this is the whole time.
Yeah, that's
True.
fine. That's fine. But I should have hit this. Your strength is reduced. Oh, jeez, by 4.
I didn't want to ever attack with my spear again anyway.
So, yeah, it reduces your strength by 4. Yeah. How much is it? What's your strength at now?
9.
9. Okay. So you could live through 2 more of those. Anyways, I guess you also have the damage itself to deal with. That's that one. It's back to you, Adric. Yeah, it didn't update again. What the heck? Why is it?
You know, I like what that man did earlier. I'm going to disengage.
Okay, disengage. Step back.
And the archer glowing on me will try and hit again. Oh my god. I am actually just going to jump off the ship. No, goodbye.
Okay, here, I'm going to watch the stream for a sec to make sure it is not updating. I don't know. Literally, this extension I got does nothing, apparently. Bruh. Alright, that's fine. Whatever. So, yeah, you, unfortunately, probably this, like, draining of your HP and your strength. This is obviously not based off strength, but it still throws you off. And, yeah.
And I guess, like, in kind of disgust, he'll throw his spear down and grab out his shield instead.
Okay. I would like to see, Chartreuse, could you roll me an insight check real quick? Or perception, either one. You can choose.
I'll go perception. Nice.
Okay. So Chartreuse, you're actually able to see when Adric gets hit by this. You see it looks like the strength and life force has been drained from him.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it mechanically matters. I am also glowing. Like, light is coming off of me.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I haven't been really, I'm not going to count what's going on here as being in dim light, even though it technically would be. It's more like, your eyes have adjusted by this point and stuff, so.
Well, we're not even in dim light anymore. Because
Yeah, now you're not, yeah. So, but yeah, so Tartarus, in mechanical terms, what that means is, with that 15, you're able to tell that the damage they're inflicting is not any physical damage. There's no wounds on Adric. In other words, your rage, while it would give you your extra damage, it wouldn't reduce the damage you take.
Okay. All right.
So just keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, that's Adric's turn. Brings us to the one that is going to pursue Rook. It is going to pursue Rook. Here, let me make it so other people can see that. Regox, hold on.
Yeah, the inner circle is bright and the outer one is dim.
There we go. Stream update. Yep. So so this one will pursue you. Like I said, there's actually I'll say 2 other ones besides these 2 that you guys are fighting. There's 2 other ones that the rest of the crew and like the captain are busy fighting, right? Which is why they're not helping you with these. And this one will just come rushing at you, Rook. It's and as it gets close to you, it's something that Adric probably wasn't able to hear because he kind of speared it from a little far away. Over the edge of the boat, you hear like whispers, like just ominous whispers in no language that you can comprehend.
Mm-hmm.
And it will try to grab you again. Bruh.
Does not.
Yeah. Alright, that's that one. It's now Rook's turn. Your turn.
Okay, I'm going to rage up.
Okay.
Rage up.
Sounds good.
Okay. Hold on. We're gonna do that. And then I'm gonna take a 2-handed warhammer to the red boy in front of me.
Okay, sounds good.
Yo.
Yeah, that is a hit. Feel free to, yeah, so remember if you click the...
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So as you come swinging in, this is a blow that any normal person, if you hit them with this in the head, like you hit this thing, it would just bash their skull in. splatter your brains. And you know that. But when you hit, it's almost like hitting a wall of like putty. It just goes like, and it clearly splatters some of whatever this thing is made out of into like over the side of the boat. But most of it stays intact. It clearly doesn't do as much damage as you were hoping for. In other words, it has resistance to normal damage that isn't from a magical weapon. So it takes half of your damage. But it is still hurt. It's not like it's immune. It is hurt. Just not as much as you were hoping. Or expecting. You do anything else? I guess that's your bonus action to rage. That's your action. So that's about it. Do you yell anything?
No.
Okay. Alright. It's Landor's turn.
True. I mean, I don't have much else to do, so.
That will hit. Yep. Yeah. Your 11 before was 1 shy.
Yeah.
So 12 will hit. Okay. And yep, similarly to the others, the magic or the non-magic nature of your weapon seems to not cut through this thing with as much ease. But actually, it is visibly wounded from the hit that you did and the spear hit. It is visibly wounded.
Okay.
Use magic missile. Torgir is I forgot to describe what happens with Torgir because Drake had to go and lead the session. We kicked him out. No, he had to go. But Torgir, shit. You know, we'll worry about it after the fight. I'm gonna have to retcon because I forgot to describe what happened to him. But we'll get to that.
He's just not represented. He's fighting another one.
No, there's something else that happened to him, but I'm gonna wait. Right now, I don't want to sidetrack. So, Landor, Landor smacks this boy. It is visibly wounded, and visibly wounded on these things is more like they just this kind of inky mess starts to just like splash onto the deck below them. Is that all you do? Perplex, is that all you do? I'm assuming.
He's also dying, apparently.
Oh no. I'm gonna assume that's it. And this thing will finish clambering onto the deck and will actually try to... Ooh. Let's flip a coin. Is it gonna go... It'll be on a 1, it'll go for Adric. On a 2, it'll go for Landor. Landor it is. Alright, so it will try to drain the strength from Landor. I don't know if Perplex is still having issues. Maybe his internet died? Or is he muted? I can't tell.
The stream's still up, so something must have demanded his immediate attention.
Oh, yeah, maybe he... Maybe he had to answer
Maybe his
the
roommate's
door.
yelling at him.
Also, I like how Alexis... Is Alexis in his chat? Because she sent a picture of a patty melt. So she's clearly here somehow. And yet she hasn't even
Wow.
come into my chat and where I'm actually streaming.
You haven't come into Perplex's chat either, so I'm just saying.
Well, because I'm streaming it. I can't just be going around to people's chats. Wow, Alexis. Wow. Wow, Alexis. I don't know if she's here. No more. I just want to see what she thinks of the session so far.
If she is in his stream still, she can hear you. I can hear us talking on his stream.
Yeah. Shame on you, Alexis. Shame. I don't know if she's still there. I'm not even in Perplex's chat. I just because I'm too busy running. I can't be looking at people's chats except my own.
Yo, I feel like everybody on Perplex's end just agreed to ghost us. Like nobody's talking in his chat now. He's gone.
Yeah, what happened to Perplex? Maybe Seattle got hit by the nukes, you know?
No.
Oh, there's Lonnie. Y'all need electricity weapons?
Who said that? Well, here,
That was
I'm gonna look at his sheet then, and maybe his AC is not accurate on there, but it says,
Sorry, I had a phone
oh,
call.
okay.
Oh, hey,
there you go. Does an 18 hit your AC?
My AC is 18.
Okay. You are gonna only 6 damage. Come on. You're gonna take 6 necrotic damage, and also your strength goes down by 4. Ooh, that's an oof. I'm getting
That's
lucky.
real bad for him because all he can do is bonk.
So yeah, your strength goes down by 4. What does that put you at? I'm curious.
Enough.
I mean, I'm assuming you're not below 10. You're a fighter, right? So yeah, because like
I
so.
mean, I didn't god roll into 20s or anything.
So
though.
Tarchus, just so you know, your strength score, it is not normally relevant, but your strength score beyond being used for strength weapons, which all of you guys are using, it seems, is the other thing is that it does determine your carry capacity, and I don't normally put up a big deal about it. But what I will say, if any of your guys' strength hits like 6 or below, you're gonna basically just be collapsing under the weight of all your stuff. Maybe not 6, but like when you gets down below 6, it at that point your carrying weight is like so low that your armor starts to and your weapons start to weigh down on you.
That is another thing. Like if you literally fall below the strength requirement for heavy armor,
Yeah.
bad things, man.
Yeah, you just can't move.
Bad
right?
trouble.
Yeah. But yeah, so
It's
that
like
one
halves your movement or something. I don't remember.
is something like that. But yeah, so it does that one does hit and also drains. It doesn't do a lot of actual damage, only 6, but it does drain the strength from Landor's face, and his muscles are weakened. That brings us to Adric.
Just isn't good. Just isn't good. Okay, well, let's first of all, forget. Okay.
It's
Nice roll.
oh no, this is what I had the other night.
Nah, this is because it's not set the same way.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that
Yeah.
missed. Goodbye, other free guiding bolt.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. I think I hit something for once.
Yep, that is a hit. Mm-hmm.
A little archer man finally hit something.
Okay. Yeah, and so what you said this is like
radiant damage.
what does the archer look like again? Sorry.
It's a little constellation glowing on my body.
Okay, so a little like on your body, like on your chest, like
Yeah, the way that the features are described, I literally my joints start glowing and literally constellations appear on me.
Oh, okay, and then it kind of like coalesces into light that just shoots out. That's cool.
Yeah, like that's how I would assume that this would work. It's literally
Yeah.
shooting a star off of me into him.
Yeah, and as this hits, the radiant light bathing this thing in radiant energy, and this thing just starts. You hear like an otherworldly scream, a howl of pain, because these things are actually vulnerable to radiant damage. Vulnerabilities are not very common for most monsters. Most monsters just don't have vulnerabilities, but these things do because they are literally made out of this gooey, inky shadow material, and it literally is. It bathed in light. It dies. It is dead.
Thank God. I was tired of rolling disadvantage on everything.
Mm-hmm. Alright, is that all you do?
Yeah, I think so.
The one next to Rook is going to try to reach out and grab him.
Yeah. that does hit.
Okay, so you take 7 damage, and because it's necrotic damage, you actually take the full amount. The rage doesn't reduce it.
Alright.
Yeah, because essentially just your life force is literally sucked from you. It gives you the good suck. And also, oh my god, I rolled 3 4s in a row. Your strength goes down by 4, which means you take it from a 16 to a 12.
Alright.
Yeah.
I think this guy's cheating.
yeah. You need to stop typing in roll 4.
Yeah. Roll 4. No. No, I just get lucky with that. The damage rolls have been kind of shit though. So, or at least not great. But yeah. Anyways, though, so it yeah, and so you feel you go from being like a very, very strong man, stronger than any average person would be, to being now you're the strength of an average person, which is still a little above average. But for you, it's a massive drop. So, yeah, that's it. It's not your turn though.
Can I fight with a torch? Is that a thing I can do?
It would be like an improvised weapon, but it would be much less efficient than just using your blade.
Against these things?
Yes.
A torch would do fire damage. I did radiant damage. I did basically holy light.
So that's one thing to
Okay.
know is that fire and radiant are two different things. So like radiant is basically like, kind of solar energy. Fire on its own is not necessarily going to have the same effect.
Okay.
But
All right.
you might assume that fire does its full damage, but your ability to hit with a torch would be more difficult.
Yeah, and it wouldn't do as much damage even if you did hit
I think
baseline.
we've had torch as a weapon before. I think what we did is it's an improvised weapon, so it's basically a D4 club.
Yeah.
And it does one fire damage if it hits.
Yeah.
Or
So-
maybe it can light them on fire if they're really flammable.
They might be
gotta
made
put
out of
drum
oil.
They have a kind of similar texture to oil, but it doesn't seem like they're actually oil.
we might be in the Gulf of Mexico. You don't know.
Yeah.
Wait, are you gonna put them in your wok and start frying up?
What do you think I was scooping for?
So what are you gonna do there, Tortures?
Oh, I'm just gonna warhammer him again.
Okay, sounds good.
Excuse me. Clicked. Thank you.
There you go. That is.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, okay. There's the first one.
Yep.
So hit the
Yep.
first one, and it will hit.
Rip.
Okay. Unfortunately, yeah, that's rough. Also, though, okay, yeah, it automatically changed the strength score because normally the bottom part would be 6 damage because you normally have a +3 from strength, but it's only +1, and it did change that automatically. So yeah, you deal 6 total, which gets halved 3 damage. F. This thing is not visibly wounded. Actually, no, it is. Sorry. Yeah. It is.
Under like a long rest, does my strength increase, or now it's just permanently decreased by that? amount?
There's no way that you would know this, but in character, but it will come back after a long. Actually, after a short or long rest, but there's no way you would know that in character though. As far as your character knows, they might just be permanently weakened. So
Okay.
So you might be freaking out. I don't know, but
You have to go back to the gym.
My knees are starting to shake.
yeah. That brings us to Landor.
Yeah. I feel like Landor probably has not noticed that he is less strong.
Okay. Yeah.
Given he has, powerful build. His gear probably doesn't feel much heavier.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
So he's just gonna rush in.
You probably feel drained, not necessarily in a way that it's noticeable weight-wise. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Feel free to. Yep. 12 was a hit. That's 2 times in a row that you barely hit. Well, you did. Okay. And okay. Yeah, it's still alive. It's still alive, but it is. It's definitely hurting. It's sort of this whatever energy is holding it together is starting to dissipate. in
Is that
chunks.
reading right? No, that should be 2 less. Changing my. Oh, I changed my con. I changed my con, not my strength.
Okay. Yeah, I got you. So I'll add 2 back. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, would it have hit still?
Or I guess sorry, it'll be one back. Yeah.
Oh, true. It wouldn't have hit actually.
Oh fuck, you're right. Yeah, and actually, okay, I did apply it to Tartarus's, but not to yours. You're right. So, oh fuck.
Well, it's good. Yeah, I just changed the wrong stat.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
Yeah. I call for a reroll.
No,
You call Zyle?
I'm not gonna. no reroll. But here's what I will.
But the jazz said so.
Here's what I'll say. Since to reward you for being honest, I will. You'll get inspiration. How about that?
Yo.
Yeah, because
Hey,
I
don't
do feel
die.
bad. I do feel bad for that. But I appreciate the honesty. So yeah, you get inspiration. There you go.
If we don't die, that's some gains right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, Tartarus, just so you know, inspiration is the thing that I award on occasion that when I remember, which is basically it's a one-time use where you can roll with advantage just using it, and I will just award it for different reasons.
Yeah.
And
You can either choose to have advantage on any roll by saying I use inspiration, or if you really didn't like the roll afterwards, you can re-roll any roll.
yeah, I love for that too. So.
That's at least how we do it. I don't remember if that's
And that's not rules are written the re-roll part, but I like it too. So, and you can use it whenever you want. It never goes away. It's just that you have it sitting around if you have it. So, but yeah, so that will bring us to no, that one's dead. So it brings us to Adric.
All right. First of all, let's see if my boy Archer Constellation can sort this out for me.
Okay.
Well, I didn't have disadvantage, but apparently I just can't roll a
Yeah, it would still just be a 7, which is unfortunately a miss.
I'm just adding new stars to the sky.
Yeah.
After that, God, there's just like nothing that's gonna be.
You can throw your spear.
I'll throw another guiding bolt.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I can cast it normally using spell slots after using my free ones. So I keep clicking that thing because it's gonna work from that screen. I have to click it from here.
Oh, yeah. That is a hit.
All right.
That is a hit.
Dude.
Yo.
What the fuck?
Guiding bolt is radiant damage, bruh. I didn't know that.
I'm a starry boy.
Yeah, that's actually you killed it actually a couple times over with that. That's a lot of damage, and it is the right type of damage, the ideal type of damage. And this thing basically just, again, it has kind of an inky form. It basically just gets exploded back out over the side of the boat. What you do notice is that the rest of the crew has finished fighting theirs as well. One or two crew, it seems like one crew member basically just got the life got completely sucked out of them. There's a crew member sitting there who looks like a mummified corpse. Yeah, and then then there's also another crew member who looks like he's basically about to die, but is alive. And again, you wouldn't know this, but he will recover in time. But he's basically out of the fight for the next little while. And these things basically get sprayed back over the side of the boat. Everyone kind of like they hack it away, but more start to arise from the puddle. Luckily, it takes them long enough that the captain yells out to start rowing, and I'm assuming you guys get the heck away from this spot.
Yeah, like
No, let's stay here.
Yeah, just farm
blinking
XP.
stars at them as we're fleeing.
Yeah. So yeah, you're able to start to row away and get away from this whatever this massive shadowy ink is. And
I'm going to collect the goo.
Okay, you'll collect as much as you can. Yeah. It has a very unnatural look to it and feel to it if you touch it, but
I assume that I just have like a ton of mason jars.
okay, put them in mason jars.
That
Sure.
for just stuff that I find.
And I try to kick the mason jar out of his hand. Be like, no, throw it over the edge.
Shoal would translate and be like, I think he thinks it's cursed. He doesn't want you to have it.
It's dead.
Shoal would explain this to Rook and be like, it's dead. It shouldn't come back.
Brother, you're not going to try and cook with that, are you?
Of course not.
Is he lying?
Are you lying, Perplex?
I don't know.
I don't know. I would say roll an insight check, Craig Alex. You don't even have to roll deception on the other hand. I'm just gonna say that, like, because he legit doesn't know. I mean, yeah, it seems like he doesn't know. He's not lying.
Let's just say after the question, maybe you noticed that you gave me the idea.
Oh no, I like that. Yeah. Oh yeah. So, but yeah.
Edric will be surreptitiously getting some rations from these food stockpiles later on, just so he can avoid the meals for a while.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, you'll see the mason jar with the black goo in it. You can
I'm
just.
worried about the soup, but I don't know what is in.
Yeah.
Well, no, just like look in the kitchen, like come in with a Sharpie or something, mark where the line is.
Oh, jeez.
See if any's been used.
Yeah. But so you guys start to row away, and after a while, again, it's hard to measure time here to tell how much time has passed. No one is tired, but people are hurt. So the captain calls for a rest and basically says that you should do a short rest, essentially. Take an hour to heal the wounds of those who were hurt. And the captain, the rest of the crew, by the way, is like, we're gonna wrap up in a second, but just to kind of describe some last things, like the crew is very much like shaken. Some of them are kind of like Rook, where they're like, we must be in the realm of the gods. Some of them are like, we are dead, like he was at first. Some of them are like just curious and like, what the fuck is this place, all of them are kind of freaked out, and I'm assuming your characters probably are too, to one extent or another, freaked out by this. And the captain is he's putting on a tough face. He clearly has no idea what's really going on either. He's giving orders confidently, and he's still leading confidently, but clearly underneath all that, he is just as lost and confused as the rest of you guys. Even the old man, Avar, who's the wisest of the crew, he seems less worried, because he's an old dude. He's like, yeah, whatever, I'm about to die anyways. But that's how old people think, right? No, no, the old guy, no, it's not that. He's just wise. He's a wise man that has seen his fair share of weird ass shit. And so he is he's not worried per se, but he is still kind of like just curious as to what is even going on here.
Speaking of weird shit, regale us what happened to Torgir an hour ago.
Thank you. Yes, I apologize. So I meant to describe this when you guys first entered this realm, like way back then. Torgir, when you kind of came through this, like whatever it was that brought you here, and slammed into this surface, Torgir would have literally face planted onto the ground, turned over on his back, like clearly not dead, just like concussed, but his eyes would have rolled back to just show like shining lightning looks. Like basically the look of the electricity from when he was hit by lightning still there, and then he would have passed out.
Okay.
And he's still passed out. That's all. In fact, you guys have probably tried to wake him, maybe even use some of Landor's like herbs or whatever to like make a, like to pass under his nose to wake him up. It has not worked. So he's in some sort of like comatose trance almost.
Well, after presumably channeling a god twice, I don't blame him.
Can I feed him the slime?
Oh god. The captain would not really want you to do that.
Only if he notices, dude.
I mean, do you try to sneak that by, like...
No, I'd probably just suggest it that...
no, the captain would be like...
That maybe this has some form of properties to wake people.
The captain would be like, with Torgir there, I don't know if it was all him, but he seemed to have been able to save us, or at least bring us here, wherever this is. I don't want to risk harming someone who is, for all that we can see, has helped us.
He might be our only
I don't
here as well.
I don't think that was any help.
Try it on.
I think we're cursed to this realm because of him.
He
cursed the gods and was smited, and we're brought along with him.
He would shrug and then point to the dead guy, the guy who died in the last fight, and be like, try it on him.
Okay, I'll feed the dead guy some slime.
Yeah, it like slides into his throat, but then like he can't really swallow it. You can try to like maneuver it down his throat by like grabbing his throat and whatever and shaking him, but
No, I
it doesn't do
changed my
anything.
mind. Redact that.
Okay. Okay.
I was worried.
That would not be in Landor's character to
Okay.
feed a
Okay.
dead guy slime.
Yeah, I got you. Oh yeah, so no, but so after you kind of collect yourselves, this would be discussion you'd be having while you are resting, and again, it'd be a short rest. Feel free to roll before we forget, roll your hit die, your hit dice now if you're going to.
Ooh.
So, Tartarus, the way this works, so long rests are basically you regain everything you've lost, right? Short rests are, so long rest is like 8 hours long. A short rest is literally an hour long, and it's the idea that instead of sleeping or resting a full amount of time, you're basically just going to patch yourself up and keep going. And you have this thing on your sheet called hit dice. And you have as many of them as you have levels. So right now you have 2. And essentially it rolls your hit dice, which is a d12 for you, plus your con. And when you take a short rest, you can roll that to recover some HP.
Okay.
If you hit the button that just says hit dice, it should roll one for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go.
Oh.
So you actually fully heal just
Let's
from
go.
one, and then mark down that you used one of them, right? So, but that's the idea. And then I don't remember. It's like you gain half of them back on a long rest or whatever. So I don't know. Either way, normally you're not going to do multiple short rests all back to back. Either way, you take this time to basically patch up. Additionally, your strength goes back up to where it was. So I think all of you lost 4 strength, so now all of you gain back your 4 strength. So after just an hour, getting some good soup India that Landor makes, which is funny actually. Again, you don't feel hungry. It's more one of those things that you just know you need strength, and so you eat the soup. And it still tastes good. You still have your taste. Yeah. It restores you.
No black goo in the soup.
No, I was gonna say, I guess for Rook's benefit, this probably would be made with the large pot of, water that I had pulled out of the ocean.
Okay.
Soup is delicious.
So the soup's probably tastes very good to you.
Yeah.
That
Rook, it
neutral
tastes
to me
incredible.
and bad to my brother.
I can go back for a second bowl.
Yeah, I mean, just the salt. The salt. It's a salty stew for Adric, but it's edible. It's edible.
So the thing is, we're not hungry though, right?
You're not hungry.
It's going over the side of the ship.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, you don't need it. So, yeah. All right.
I'll use that as another marker to watch our progress.
Yeah.
As presumably
Oh,
it just floats,
Yep.
very apparent in this crystal clear fluid.
Mm-hmm. And so yeah, after this rest, you kind of get back to rowing, and stuff. But I'm curious. We're gonna wrap up here in just a second. But I'm curious, what would your guys' general thoughts be of as it kind of fades away to silence? And the idea being that everyone is kind of pondering the situation. What would you guys' thoughts be on?
I think my belief that this is the land of the gods has wavered a bit because of those monsters that have crawled onto the boat before.
Okay. You would know that the land of the gods is still people don't really normally go there. It's very rare that a mortal would ever go there. But from legends, there are all types of gods there. Some are bad, so But it's up to your interpretation of how this experience would affect you. Yeah. Okay. What about the other two, the brothers? What would they be thinking upon?
You go first.
Okay. I'd probably just sporadically take out the spyglass to see our progress towards the shadowy shape that we were headed towards.
Oh, that was the shadowy shape. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if that
So
was
we're
that.
going-
Yeah, it was. It
Okay.
seemed further away than it was.
Okay, then I would probably just be looking out for anything along the presumed coastline,
Okay.
shoreline,
Yeah, there's not really a shoreline as far as you can tell. It's just like that.
horizon line.
Yeah, the horizon. Yeah, I got you. Mm-hmm.
That's what I meant.
Yeah. What about Adric?
Edric would probably just be rubbing the carvings on his star map and looking at the corresponding parts of the sky while just mumbling to himself and thinking about his druidic teachings from years and years ago and what he knows about the stars or any of what's happening.
Okay, I like it. As you guys are going along, one thing you would notice is that roll me a perception check, all of you guys. Yeah, this is a good time for perception check. It would be for two different things. Okay. So Rook is the first to notice, as he's kind of in a meditative state, just rowing and thinking about what has happened. He just kind of, most of the time when you get into that state, when you're rowing or paddling a canoe or whatever, it just becomes natural. But then something snaps him out of it. He realizes, like, wait a minute, I'm not getting as much water as I should be, or whatever this liquid is. And he looks overboard. He sees the water is further down than he remembers. The ship is higher off the water. And then there's some murmuring among the crew, because all of you then realize that the ship is hovering over the water now. The group, I'm assuming, stops rowing just to see what is going on, but as you stop rowing, the ship starts to it's moving on its own, very, very slowly, towards the constellations above you. Kragox, I want you to make me a wisdom saving throw, we'll say.
Oh, no. Okay.
Okay. So, as the crew kind of looks around, and Adric realizes this as well, and looks overboard, sees this, the ship kind of shakes, and Adric realizes that as he was thinking of the stars above you, the ship was rising towards them. And now his thoughts have wavered because he's now looking around, and the ship looks like it's about to splash back down, which wouldn't be fatal or anything. It would be fine. You're 5 feet above the water. But Adric kind of realizes this in a moment. What does he do?
I guess he'll focus on think of the constellation directly above.
Okay. And yeah, sure enough, you quickly realize this and quickly start concentrating, and the ship slowly begins to rise again. And it's one of those things where you could easily call out and talk to people as well. It's just you also have to have part of your mind concentrating on this.
I'm somehow doing this?
The captain is like, what do you mean, Adric?
Point of direction.
He points forward, but nothing happens.
I will point the same spot and say, okay, I'm thinking about that constellation right now.
Okay. And the ship starts drifting very slowly, but definitely drifting in that direction forward. It doesn't sink back down again either. It just keeps drifting forward now. And now the captain realizes he can see your the concentration in your eyes. And he starts he kind of holds his temples and starts thinking. And the ship goes a little faster now in that direction.
Oh god. This place is literally what we think about it. So if everyone in the crew thinks about where we should go... Wait, can we go home? Wait, where is home? It would be below us, right?
I'm assuming you're saying all this out loud to the captain?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
well, still concentrating on where we were going. Just mumbling this to the captain.
The captain shrugs. He looks towards Avar, the old man, for guidance. The old man is like, I do not know what this is, but I believe you are right. Our thoughts are manifesting action. Perhaps the gods look favorably upon us after all. And the captain just kind of looks to the rest of the crew.
So does it work if we think of home rather than the specific stars that we see?
The captain, like, opens his mouth as if he's about to say something, and then he stops, he pauses, he's like, looks around. And he's like, do you hear that?
Do we?
Yeah, let's have all you guys make me another perception check, actually.
Oh no.
Okay.
I'm thinking real hard about stars right now.
So, for a
not.
few seconds, none of you hear anything. Then, Landor, you do hear something. You hear like someone yelling something, but it's very, very, very distant. Or almost inaudible.
Can I tell like a general dialect at least?
That's a good question. Roll me a history check, we'll say. There's no linguistics
Yeah.
check.
Yikes.
I think there is a linguistics skill in like,
Oh.
3.5 or whatever, but 15 is pretty good. I gotta think if you would recognize anything about this. It is no language you've ever heard, and with confidence, you're pretty sure it's not a language related to any you've heard. And you've heard a lot of languages. It is a very alien tongue.
Can
That's
I tell like where it's coming from?
Yeah, so actually, as you start to focus in on trying to discern the source of it, the ship starts to shift to the side in one direction. And you look off that way, and you realize that off in the distance, but now close enough now that it is blocking some stars, you see another ship coming towards you. A very kind of like shallow ship, like something that is, it's not like a longboat, it's kind of shallow and wide, almost like a small barge, but still with a pointed end. And it is coming straight at you guys. And now everyone hears the shouts of these humanoid figures moving around on this vessel. And this vessel is bearing down right on you guys. And that is where we will end the session. To see,
It's always a boat chasing us, man.
there's another boat chasing you guys. It is a recurring theme so far.
Well, how do we know it's chasing us?
I mean, you know, maybe there's on a
Big spoilers
hang out.
already.
Yeah. Anyways, though, that is gonna do it for tonight's session. So I think Drake will probably be here for the full session next week. The plan with Drake is that he normally has, I think he has another game on Sundays that overlaps with the end of this one. But I think that game is only normally meeting every other week or every like third week or something like that. It's just that every once in a while Drake might not be here for part of a session. And
Do you think we're all going to be here for the day after Christmas?
that is a good question. I don't know about you guys. I'm around, but I guess that isn't that Boxing Day, Tartarus?
Yeah, but
Is that-
like that's not like a.
Isn't it more of a thing there than it is here, though? I don't know. But-
Well, it's like it's like Black Friday. It's not
Okay.
like you have family stuff or anything like that. Yeah.
I wasn't sure, but
Is it like a Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather type deal? or-
but I don't know what that's supposed to be in this context, but
they had a boxing match.
Boxing. Oh.
yeah.
God.
So yeah, I got
Only
you.
if the deals are good.
But yeah, so the I'm glad that chat enjoyed the session. So it seems like Sam might have some scheduling issues and stuff, but So I don't know. We might just be going down to 4 people, or maybe I don't know. I know Cassis said he might be interested at some point.
True.
So maybe
True, old Jeffy boy.
Maybe we can get a 5th in here after all. It'd be pretty easy to incorporate someone into this game because we would literally just say, we would retcon and say they've been with you the whole time as part of the crew.
Well, that's the thing. It's almost like we're just focusing on different people. Like,
yeah.
Our other boys, they're still here. They're just not relevant for whatever reason. Like, they were doing their own little thing, fighting other shadows.
Exactly, yeah. So,
maybe old Jeffy boy can be Ganric.
Oh God! I mean, if he wants to be, I'm not gonna make him be that. But
of course,
yeah,
of course.
Yeah. But we can twist it maybe if he, But if he wants,
he's
to
a barbarian. Like, you just insult him that one last time, and he goes
snaps.
off, dude.
But yeah, no. So, anyways, though, yeah, that'll do it for this session. I don't know if we'll be playing next week. I should be free, but we'll coordinate and find out.
I'll probably be free. Yeah.
Okay. And either way, I totally forgot this last week, but I wanted to do at the end of the stream. Here, I'll do it in a second. I wanted to give you guys a chance to pimp your channels for those of you that stream, which I guess out of all of us here, we all kind of stream, in one sense or another. So,
to various degrees, we are streamers.
Yeah. So yeah, we all are streamers. Tartarus streams a few days a week. Perplex has been doing most days of the week, right? Like,
daily for 31 days, except for Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah.
Dang.
So Perplex has been streaming daily in like the evening, North America evening.
2 p.m. Pacific time.
Yeah, I guess it's more afternoon there. But Craigox streams irregularly, but he does RimWorld and stuff.
Yeah, man. And
I stream most days as well, but at ridiculous hours. Yeah, the D&D stream will be happening on Sundays at 6 p.m. for the foreseeable future. So, thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you next week, presumably or possibly. So, bye bye.
See you later, chat.
Goodbye.